Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 112 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me, I got our Cobra Commander here, the one and only Mr. Colin Moriarty, with his Islanders hoodie. Very nice. Colin, how are you feeling today?
I'm good, thank you. I just woke up like a half an hour ago, so
very nice.
2:30 in the afternoon. I was up late last night. I tried to do this last year, and I got to like March or April, and then I just stopped doing it. I'm trying to write like detailed thoughts on every game I play.
Oh, okay.
In order to make I have this vision of making, and I wish I just did this years ago, but like a compendium of some sort, not for public use or whatever, but just a way for me to like go back over the years, hopefully, and be able to return to thoughts I have for games. People are like, oh, you should stop smoking so much weed and stuff. And I'm like, I don't really have ever really, I've played so many games and have my whole life that I've really never been very good about remembering everything about them. And so I started writing these things, and then I ended up writing, let me see how much I wrote. For Front Mission, I wrote, let's see, 1,347 words.
Whoa, okay. That's like a full review.
Yeah, for Turok 1, I wrote 1,469 words. And then Lovish is like 1,300 words. So it ended up being like this, because the first time I did it, I was doing like a couple of paragraphs, but these are like really detailed thoughts on the game. So hopefully in the future, should I ever need to remember what my experiences were with them, I can go back and return. So anyway, I was up late writing all that, and then I was playing God of War, and then I was doing other stuff. So
yeah. So I don't know if you could do this. Can you do a Substack that's free?
Yeah, you probably could. I've talked about making this available eventually to everyone, but
yeah, I'm
really not doing it for that purpose, to be honest.
Oh, I know.
So you can make a free Substack. You can.
Yeah, you might as well just, I don't know, put it out there, even if it's like not presented as like, hey, this is a proper review or anything. These are just kind of my thoughts on the games that I'm playing in a freeform style. I bet some people would read that.
Yeah, I think people would read it, but
you got that old journalist brain coming back, writing.
I love to write, and it's so easy. That again, writing all this stuff and then thinking about what was that guy that plagiarized at IGN? I can't remember his name anymore.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name too.
And I'm like, it's just so crazy how easy this is, to just write your thoughts down. But I was thinking about it. Well, first I was thinking like, oh, maybe you could do some videos, even like this is like VO for videos. If you just have footage of the games, I'm like, I just don't want to make more work.
Just don't want to do that right now. None of the mood.
What's the point, really? Just everyone leave me alone.
Just leave me alone, dude. Okay, well, great. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. How's Micah?
Oh, she's well.
She's well.
She woke up a little earlier than me. She usually does. She goes and works out in the home gym and takes care of the dogs and all the rest. But she's fine. She's been playing Harvest Stella like very compulsively, and I know she got Fire Emblem right on Wii. So she's been setting up the Wii U. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it with her.
Very good.
She's good. She's hanging in there.
Yelling at her, telling her she has to watch the Mario movie because the second one's coming out.
Yeah,
made it mandatory.
It should be for that. It should be mandatory. I told her that. I'm like, it should be mandatory, like for the podcast you're doing.
Yeah.
But I'll let her find her way.
She's like, maybe I'll watch it on my bike in 2 bursts. I'm like, it's 90 minutes, man. If a 3-year-old could sit through it, you can do it, Micah.
Yeah, it looks cute. I'm sure it's not very good, but it
fun.
Looks great. Yeah,
I'm sure better than you would think. And there's a lot of cool nods.
I never looked at Mario as like needing a story. I mean, it always had a story. I always loved the introduction to the Koopa Kids.
Yeah.
Particularly, but yeah. Dude, she'll get to it, I'm sure.
Next one's Bowser. Gotta watch it. Or I'm sorry, Galaxy. Gotta watch that.
Yeah, it looks cute. I like the commercial I saw with like Yoshi in it. And all the rest.
He's holding the super scope.
Yeah, which is cool. Just like I was when I was a kid. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure she'll get to it. I'm sure she will. I'm sure
you should just watch it with her, man.
I might. I mean, I'd like to. I've been, you know what is, you're talking about like a compendium of information, like, you know, opinion. It's like, I was thinking about just opening like a secret letterbox and just starting to watch and review movies without telling anyone.
That'd be awesome.
This whole thing. Yeah.
That'd be great.
So
I'd check that out. That's good shit. All right. Hey, everybody. Before we get into the rest of the show, please check us out on patreon.com/laststandmedia. If you want to support us, we could not do without you guys. You guys are the lifeblood of this operation. So we greatly appreciate your support. Thank you. Also, if you want some merch from the Moriarty house, go to laststandmedia.store. They got merch sitting around. Please buy it so they could free up space. Yeah,
we're doing okay with space right now. One of the things I have to think about, I was thinking about this with my taxes, is, you know, I get a worksheet from my accountant every year, and it's like, here's like all the information you have to do for your business, like in relation to the house. So you can write off a little bit of your electricity. You can write off a little bit of whatever, depreciation and all these kinds of things. But I paid off the house. So now I have to figure out, I think we can pay rent.
Oh.
You know, like there's like some different things we have to do there or whatever. So I'm trying to I don't know exactly the rules. We have to figure that out, but I'm trying to make it work for me. Like all of the amount that the house has been taken over by the business.
Yeah, of course.
Is fucking insane. So
how much space do you have in your backyard?
It's big. I mean, we have an in-ground pool that's 32 by 18. And then there's like space around it, but it's not like a huge, I grew up on like an acre, you know, it's like nothing like that at all. It's probably a 20th of an acre or something like that.
I was going to say, you could build a little sweatshop out there for Micah, put her into work in the hot summer.
That would be fun. I wonder how the HOA would feel about that. Yeah. Most people,
so she's a black woman going out there.
Yeah, I built a shack. I built quarters for my black wife in the backyard. Yeah, I wonder how people always talk shit about the HOA situation, and I'm sure people have nightmare HOAs, but my HOA is awesome.
Yeah, all HOAs are not created equal. I'll say that.
Do you guys have an HOA?
Yeah, when I was younger, they were dickheads, dude. I hated our HOA. Always trying to stop us skateboarding. Really annoying about that. They wouldn't let us have a basketball hoop above our garage, Colin, for God's sakes. What are we doing here? This is America, man.
Yeah, it's outrageous. But now I totally agree. That's outrageous. Nothing like that happens in my HOA.
Yeah, they seem much more chill now.
Well, I think it's about if an HOA is corporate or not. Like there are some HOAs that are like your neighborhood's 30 houses, and they're like, it's like I live in a neighborhood that's hundreds, like 400 or 500 houses.
Yeah, ours is a lot.
And we have like some corporate entity that does the HOA stuff. And there are obviously representatives from the neighborhood and whatever, but they're like great.
They
just like do whatever, take care of all the amenities. Occasionally you vote on things to like fix and do and whatever. And I've never heard of anyone getting their balls busted for anything.
That's good. That's awesome.
You know? And I would never report anyone. Well, maybe I would, but like, I would never say anything because I don't want to be that guy either. If someone's not doing something or whatever, because I don't want that being done to me.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It just depends. Well, it's like, you know, some people are just fucking negligent or don't do their job or something. So it's like, dude, I'm willing to be the bad guy to clean up that neighborhood. I'll fucking do it.
Yeah. Sometimes I literally do clean up the neighborhood. Ask Micah, I walk around and pick up garbage sometimes.
I know, dude.
Did she tell you that?
Yeah, you're a good citizen, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to live amongst trash. And no one's doing it. No one's like throwing shit out. It's just like when we put our garbage pails outside, sometimes people have like they're overflowing, and then it's like that shit just gets blown into the woods and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to live like this. And sometimes I'll just like take a garbage bag and just walk into the woods and just start picking up garbage.
Dude, that's good shit, man. If I saw some guy doing that in my neighborhood, I'd be like, fuck yeah, that guy rules. What a good neighbor. You're a good neighbor. That's what's important.
I do think I am a good neighbor.
Yeah,
I do think
you don't want a dickhead neighbor.
I just don't want to live like I lived in cities. I grew up in Long Island, obviously quite pristine, but growing up in cities, it's like gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
Like living in these cities when, I was in college and in my 20s and 30s, it's disgusting. And like, I don't want to live like that. And I don't want your and if I didn't do it, no one's going to do it. Like that's Mike always rolls her eyes at me, but I'm like, if I didn't do this, like it would be pretty gross around here.
Yeah.
I think.
You have respect, man. You have respect for your surrounding and your space. That's important.
I am an environmentalist. People don't know that about Colin very much, but I am an environmentally minded person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I got to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you want to keep?
I'll hang out here and I'll talk to the listeners.
Really?
Yeah, I'll talk.
All
to
right,
them.
Great.
Okay. Everybody, it's your boy Brad. Hope you're all doing well. Colin's going to the bathroom. I don't know how long he's going to be gone, but I guess we'll just kind of wing it and figure it out. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. It's a lovely Friday afternoon here. We're recording this on a Friday. We usually record on Mondays, but Colin always streams on Monday. So Colin episodes, we usually record on a Friday. So we're doing it now. It's a, what's the temperature out for me right now? A nice 68 degrees, sunny, a beautiful day. I'll be going to the gym after this, which I am looking forward to and not looking forward to. If you work out, you know exactly what I mean. You want to feel the pump, but getting in there can be a real bitch. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Hope you guys are doing good. I know one of you out there is doing well. Jeff, I know you're listening, Jeff. Stay in line, Jeff. Don't get too crazy out there. Think of your family, okay? Oh, dude, if listeners, or I guess viewers, mostly listeners, you can kind of get in on this as well. I have a Tailspin cup right here. Shout out to Baloo right here. I haven't watched Tailspin in forever, dude. I forgot this guy's name, the villain, Don something Cornage. Was it Don Cornage? I can't remember. But shout out, and I got some coffee right now from a listener as well, who me and Dustin met up with when Dustin was in town. Insert your gay jokes right there. But he hooked me and Dustin up with some coffee, and it's good. I used to be a big coffee drinker, and I fell out of it for a very long time, but now I'm getting back into it. So I'm digging it. Oh, chat room. So occasionally, chat room, listeners, viewers. Some of you may have heard me talk about this over the last couple weeks or what so. Music. I'm a heavy music enjoyer. I like the heavy music. I don't know a lot of heavy music, or newer heavy music is what I mean to say. So if you have any good recommendations for new heavy music, let me know in the comments. I'm going to keep an eye out there. Oh, Colin is back. There he goes. He's back.
Sorry, I'm back.
No, we're good.
That was pretty quick.
I was just rambling with chat, or I keep calling him chat, with the listeners.
What do you think, chat?
What do you think, chat room? All
How's
right.
your streaming going?
Fun. I just do it when I can, most of the time. I'm wearing too many hats. I'm trying to do too many things, so things are suffering because of it, because I'm trying to do YouTube on my own, making videos and shit.
Yeah, yep. Well, pick
Bradley
a lane.
What?
Pick a lane.
Pick a lane. I can't pick a lane. I've always been a jack of all trades, and it definitely is a bad idea.
What was the other one you were going to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, the channel is Bradley Ellis Games.
Right.
If you want to see my shit over there. I stream on Twitch as well and YouTube now, both. I've been playing Majora's Mask 3D on there, Colin, which we'll get into later.
I've never played that one.
I never finished it, but I did play it, and I got some complaints, but there's some good stuff about it. Some quality of life stuff that I think is very good. But other than that, doing that, I semi-recently, Colin, I don't know if you can see it, but I got this little box to plug in my guitar to my computer now, because my amps are all fucked up, so making small steps to try to get back into music.
Cool.
More so now.
I'll play drums for whatever you play.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'd have to
it's
mic myself
been
up.
so long for me. I need to brush up on everything pretty much. So I'm going back to the basics. But
I'm looking at your YouTube channel now. It looks like it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I just need to do more frequently is what I should say.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. I'm working on a video for the God of War game right now. Hopefully I'll get that out pretty fast.
Cool. That'll be good. Yeah. It's hard out there, man. There's so many people doing things. I think consistency is almost more important than traffic, because I think the traffic will come if you're consistent.
It's 100%. But with every game I talk about on their call, and I'm always like, I need to finish it all the way. I want to beat it completely. A lot of people just do impressions, which is totally fine. But for me, I'm always just like, I got to beat it. Maybe it's that reviewer brain in me still from back in the day. I don't know.
Well, I just don't know what value impressions really are in a way comparable to a full review.
I think impressions are good for just getting something out there really quickly. But for the long term, I don't think it's as good. Because, when you hop back on, it's not as evergreen, I should say. It's like a full review. But that's just me.
It's funny what does well, too. I remember when I sat down to play the Dragon Quest XI demo, and I did a video of it in 18, whatever that was, 18. And that video fucking killed.
Yeah, man.
And it annoyed me because I was like, I didn't do anything. Yeah.
That's what usually happens, dude. Yeah. The stuff you're not as passionate about or you just kind of don't expect much does the best every time. You're like, oh, okay, fine. That's fine. I forgot. I feel like we were going to say something, but I forgot. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Iron Lion wrote in 44. Hey, if you want to write into this show as well as any of our shows, we post threads for all of our individual shows on Patreon. So keep an eye out there for threads. I post a thread usually every Saturday, except if Colin's on, which is a Wednesday because we record on Fridays. So Colin gets the special day. Iron Lion 44 wrote and said, guys, my wife and I bought a home. The most important decision is upon me. It's a 3-bedroom home, and we have one child, but plan on having one more. Do I put them both in the same bedroom and save the third room for gamer purposes, or I'm sorry, at least I'm thinking of my children and their future, unlike the divorced dad from all the Colin streams.
Yeah,
Damn.
give it time. Maybe you'll be in the same boat. Only kidding.
Okay. Oh, you go first. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think kids having their own room is pretty important, in my opinion, but that's also pretty American, as I understand it. I don't know. My sister, like, we make fun of it because when my dad built a new house in the 80s and all 4 of us were alive, I was like a toddler. It was a huge house, but they only built 4 bedrooms and put the girls together. And I thought that was so funny because, and my sister Dana, I said it to her like, in the last year or 2, and she's like, dude, I have never even really thought about the fact that they just put us together and then gave you and Dagan your own rooms and put me and Allie together. And I'm like, yeah, it was weird. Yeah. They had a huge room though, and a good relationship, whatever. But I think the independence and being able to have your own space and stuff is pretty cool too. Do you need a gamer room? I mean, we have a 4-bedroom house. 2 of the bedrooms are like, this is my room, and Micah has her own room. And then we have our master bedroom. And then we made one of them into like the gym. So we have space for that. But if you have kids in the mix, well, we've talked about if we have kids, like we can probably do 1 kid here.
Yeah.
But I would need my own space.
You need your own space.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so we would have to either expand the house or just move. But I'm so attached to this house that I in my mind, I'll never sell this house, even if we get another one. Like I want to somehow like rent it out or keep it in some way. Because
that's good, man. You love your home.
It's very sentimental to me.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So here's my opinion. As someone who grew up with my brother, we did share a room. We grew up in a 2-bedroom house early on. I think you can get away with kids sharing rooms until they're like 12 or 11, when they start getting older. Then that's when the friction starts to happen more so. In my experience, that's what happened. So, and with my brother, his kids, some of them share a room right now still. I think you can get away with it for a while, but eventually you're going to have to give them their own space. When they're very young, I think it's completely fine for them to share a room. But like I said, once they get older, you're going to want to split them apart if you can. Not everyone can. I totally understand it. And I know plenty of kids who shared a brother or a room with their sibling for a long time. It's just, it is what it is. But you can have the gamer room, I would say, for at least a while if you want.
And why do you need a gamer room?
I don't know. People just like, I don't know, their space to get away, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I play games on the living room TV and make my wife watch.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the real fucking G move.
Maybe his wife doesn't want to have anything to do with video games. She doesn't want to see that weeb bullshit on her screen. I totally understand. She wants to watch some fucking show. I don't know, Downton Abbey or something. I don't know.
Well, I might join her and watch that. But you're right. Like, I don't know. Space is good, but I understand it's like kind of a luxury as well. And it wasn't always like this. Once you become like an adolescent or whatever, you do need your own space. You need privacy.
Yeah. Ideally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah.
Explore your body.
Explore your body by yourself. Yeah. So yeah, Ireland, that'd be my advice. You got Colin's advice. There you go.
So you had a different house than the house you're in now?
No, we actually added on to our house.
Oh.
Like half the house. It's a 4-bedroom house now with 3 full baths.
Cool.
Because my grandmother used to live here back in the day. We built like a, a mother-in-law suite or whatever they call it. Like a whole separate, like a unit almost that was connected. So then when my grandma eventually moved, me and my brothers moved in and took over that whole area. So that's what we got now.
Interesting.
So like that's what I have now. I have like this whole back area to myself, pretty much.
Yeah, the whole parent living with the parent thing is interesting. I remember my best friend growing up, they like redid and like finished their basement so that their grandfather could live down there as like an apartment.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Got
cool. So
family,
you built in the same space. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You got to take care of your family.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I love that family, man. I know. There's a lot of trials, and stuff you got to deal with, especially when parents get older, but they were there for you. So
How old are your parents?
How old are my parents? My mom just turned 69. My dad is 73.
Oh, okay.
So a little older.
They're getting up there. Yeah, they're getting up there.
Yeah, they're getting older. But I'm 38. My brother's 40. So they had my brother when my mom was 28. My mom was 30 for me. So pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
We're just getting fucking old. So everyone's getting old.
Yeah, I'm things are just so different now.
Yeah.
Do you want children?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. How old's your girlfriend?
How old is she?
Yeah.
She is 35.
35. Yeah. You guys have plenty of time. I mean,
oh, I know.
It's kind of like a different world. My mom was 34 when she had me, and that was considered somewhat old.
Times have changed
in the 80s.
Yeah.
I feel like women are having kids now in their early 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ideal, but it can be done. Yeah, because Mike and I vacillate on that a lot, and I always use Mike's age as an excuse to put it off. But actually, we're all just collectively getting older.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm more into it than she is. Actually.
Sure.
Yeah. Which it's like, and honestly, I'm like, I don't know that I really care. Which maybe is a sign that
maybe you don't really care until it happens.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not worried about the finances or anything like that. Really.
Oh, no,
it's fine. I'm more worried about, it's stressful. You have like, of course. It is stressful to imagine being truly responsible for someone else.
For a human.
Soup to nuts. Like you're just totally responsible for this person. But
it's like an advanced dog.
They always say you figure it out.
Yeah, you figure it out. You got an advanced dog. You got Russian trouble times that.
Yeah, substantially. I was also the youngest in my family, and so I never really was exposed to babies until my siblings had them.
Yeah.
So like I didn't even really know what that was all about. Their experience was like that with me. Yeah. But I never had that.
Yeah, yeah. Life's weird, man. But shout out to all you parents out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Y'all are great. Good shit, dude. Well, wait, how are the pups doing? I brought them up.
They're our pup. Oh, you know all about our pup?
Well, no, I know your pups.
Oh, I was gonna say our pup. Do you know our new? We like anthropomorphize the shit out of them.
I mean, yeah.
We so Rush is in the Epstein files, which doesn't make any sense because Rush was born in 2020. But like Mikey came up with this thing where like there are multiple references to an R pup in the Epstein files, and we're asking Rush if he's our pup, and he won't answer.
He is, yeah. He's tight-lipped. He's a tight-lipped boy. All right. Colin, yesterday was the state of play, or the most recent one. We reacted to it on stream, live, you, me, Chris, and Dustin. It was fun. We had a little mini bets event going on there, but it was a very good state of play, in my opinion. I think all of us enjoyed it very much so. Some cool announcements going on in here. But Colin, just give me a couple standouts for you. And also, I guess, a couple standouts, and how are you feeling now about Sony's momentum? Because, people always, I guess it's just in general, people complaining about Sony, first party, all that kind of stuff, as we like to make fun of, where are the games and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was a great showcase. Level showcase. Just literally no doubt. I saw someone from... It was like Kotaku or something saying something like on Twitter being like, kind of making fun of it, being like, oh, it's just all third party marketing deals and fans get excited about that. And I'm like, that is what these have always been, you fucking moron.
Yeah. Like, have you look at the PlayStation 1, dude.
Yeah. Like, are you new here? When Ridge Racer was shown off prominently leading up to PS1, do you think that was Sony?
Yeah.
Or a marketing deal with Namco? So I was like, I was surprised by how good it was. I had some level of internal expectation that I tried not to talk too deeply about because I just didn't want to. It's like, you just see what happens. But in my mind, I'm like, they kind of have to know that they need to do something here. And they did. And it wasn't heavy first party by any stretch of the imagination. We didn't learn too much, but we did get some big games and a lot of exciting things. And as I was saying, I guess I'd have to go more carefully over the list, but there's probably like, they showed 31 games, and I would say I'm going to play 20 of them.
Yeah,
which is pretty big for, 2/3 of the game shown. That's usually not the way it goes. There's so many gamers with different tastes. So to have so much align with what I'm looking for was a lot of fun for me. And I just think this showcase was in fact so good, or this state of play was so good, that it's kind of preposterous to pretend that it wasn't, regardless of like just looking at it objectively. It's like, yeah, this was objectively Sony's best conference since the PS5 launch, I would say. And I think it clears the deck for more. I think there's going to be a lot more. They have a lot more to say. If you just read between the lines and who's working on what and what's going on where and all of the rest, then it's like, yeah, there's got to be more to say soon, in the next year or so. But I also think with Saros looming, and then into Tokon, and then into Wolverine, and plus Marathon's in there as well, like, get some of the shit off your plate first, and then start talking about what's next, because then it gets a little bit more mysterious, other than Intergalactic and a few other items. Now we know about Hunter's Gathering and a few other things. It's like, yeah, now you have room to kind of introduce new things. So I'm as excited as I was to see the God of War trilogy remake, which I want to talk more deeply about at some point.
Sure.
And the new God of War Sparta game, which I've known about forever, that's cool. As cool as that is, it's really the promise of clearing the field that I think is more exciting. And I was especially excited to see Sons of Sparta. I was saying on Sacred Symbols, like, I've kind of kept my cards close to my vest. Like, I've known about this game for a while. I was there. It's so funny. People just randomly, and I start to recognize the names and DMs. Like, there are just people in our audience that just tell me shit. That definitely, and someone just straight up, like, literally more than a year ago, was like, this Mega Cat studio in Pittsburgh is making a 2D. They didn't say 2.5D, nor did they say that it was a Metroidvania, but a 2D God of War game. And I was saying too that someone had, and again, I don't know if these people are, obviously that person knows, but people tell me things, and then someone had told me that it was going to be on Switch as well, which ended up not materializing. I wonder if that actually is true or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing that I was expecting to see, because, and it was just obvious that was going to happen if you were talking to the right people. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the field cleared, and now that Saros and Marathon will be off the map the next time they do a state of play, we'll have more room for more things. And my other assumption, Brad, was that this was probably supposed to be a showcase, and they've utilized the state of play branding to lower expectations, which I think in the short term was a very smart move. In the mid and long term, that's going to create complications for them, because now there are going to be higher expectations for states of play moving forward.
Well, if they call this a state of play, and I think if Intergalactic didn't show up, people would be like, why even bother calling it that? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because there wasn't like a huge first party thing, like new thing, especially like we know about Intergalactic. We haven't seen it actually, like gameplay. We've seen Wolverine now. This was kind of focusing on like stuff we know about, like you said already, like Saros and Marathon. So I honestly think it's a good idea to keep expectations lower. And so when people actually are like blown away by it, instead of just having like, because now at the point when you do showcase, it's going to be insane expectation, Colin. People, whether justified or not, are going to be thinking Bloodborne 2. So
I don't know.
That's what they got to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome if they really did sort that out. They're going to need From for that. It's totally possible. I mean, From's open for business. It's just a matter of you spending the money, and then money's getting ratcheted up as they become more and more successful. More and more and more and more and more successful. It's pretty unreal. I really want to see what happens with their Switch game. Yeah,
Dustbloods. We haven't seen it, man, since it's been revealed.
I'm skeptical of that game. I'm highly skeptical.
And Elden Ring on Switch 2 has just kind of seemingly vanished. So
well, I think there's problems with Switch 2.
I think there is.
As far as when I saw that Take-Two had shut down Borderlands 4 on Switch 2, I'm like, well, they're already having a problem getting things to run on this thing. These are not even next gen games. So, which is kind of interesting about Dustbloods, because then it's like, well, this is uniquely a boutique Nintendo game that's made for your hardware, but they're going to have problems, I think, moving forward. If I didn't expect Switch 2 to interact this poorly already with current market games in the way it is. And I say that because maybe they can't get Elden Ring going.
Yeah.
Although Elden Ring's not very intensive.
No, I mean, it was on PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
So,
and is the Switch 2, I mean, I know that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
It's like apples and oranges, but is the PS4 weaker than the Switch 2?
I would think so, with DLSS maybe and all that kind of stuff that they have going on for it. I would say it should be at least on par with it, is my thing. Because like they have Rebirth running on a Switch 2 now. And it looks all right. I mean, it's 30 frames, but it looks all right.
Yeah, I'm honestly. Like, it's got to stink in some way. I saw something on Switch where I was like, Jesus. On Switch 2. I don't remember what it was, where it was like side by side. Like,
it might have been Pragmata or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, where I was like, oh yeah, the Pragmata, even the hair is different. Like I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Because her hair, what's the kid's name?
I don't know her name. Yeah.
Ellen or something like that. It's like something weird like you would expect that. Like, it is something like that. What is the Pragmata girl name?
That's such a funny name.
Diana.
That's
I was close.
Funny. Yeah.
I knew it was something that sounds like a 50-year-old. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Diana. Susan. Yeah. Yeah. Very much 50-year-old.
What stood out to you?
Oh, at the State of Play?
Yeah.
Obviously Castlevania for you and me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got my blood going. I'm pumping. And this is just the first announcement they said for upcoming projects for Castlevania.
I don't like the verbiage they use though.
What do you mean?
They use the word products.
Products? I don't know. Well,
so it could be like a new Netflix show. I'm sure there's going to be another one. I think there's at least one more game, but I don't know that it's much more than that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like, it's starting again. It's in motion at least now. So they maybe have 2 games planned. I'm sure there's going to be more after that, is what my kind of thing.
Just keep it going,
because with Castlevania, dude, you don't have to worry about drama with Kojima or anything like that with Metal Gear, you know. I think Castlevania can totally survive without Iga. It's been doing it way before him anyway. So
yeah, he didn't really get involved until Symphony of the Night, right? So it's like, well, he worked on Bloodlines or something, but you're absolutely right. Like they don't seem to give a shit about Iga comparable to Kojima, and frankly, the audience doesn't either.
No, because there's been plenty of games without him.
Plus, Iga was the producer.
Yeah,
it's I hate to. I don't want to undercut the producer, but it's not a creative role necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, if they got Iga for a game, I think that'd be sick too. If they could just kind of mend that bridge going between them. But Iga's got Bloodstained 2 going, so I'm happy with that as well.
Who the fuck knows why that's taking so long? I mean, that's like one of the great mysteries. 7 years? Are you kidding?
Kickstarter fulfillment maybe again? I don't know.
Did they kickstart the second game?
I don't know about that. I meant the first one, like, you know, all those promises, the Shovel Knight effect.
Yeah. I was like, shit, I would have invested in the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little annoying at this point. Like how long it's taking. Like I've forgotten everything about Bloodstained at this point. I got to go back and replay it at some point.
Me too, man. I was happy to see Kenna get a second shot. I played the first game, Bridge of Spirits. What is this? Scars of Cosmora,
I think it is. Yeah.
Cosmora. Yeah. The first game was cool, but definitely a game that could improve a lot in a sequel. The Assassin's Creed effect, you know, Assassin's Creed 1, cool prototype here, but 2 is what really elevated it. So I'm hoping we'll get a situation like that for this game, but I'm really happy to see it. Very interesting that it's PC and PS5 only. Because that was like what the first game was, right? It came to Xbox much later, I think, right?
Yeah, Sony had some involvement in identifying and kind of helping fund the first one, I think, in a pub fund style situation. The pub fund was this thing Sony used to do, for people that don't know, where they would basically lend you money in return for exclusivity that would then be paid back, and then you can migrate your games out of the ecosystem. So the biggest example I can think of this is like, that's how Drinkbox did, like Guacamelee and other things like that. Axiom Verge is one of those games. And so basically you're getting like, for lack of a better term, you're getting like free marketing plus like interest-free loans in return for your exclusivity. I was really surprised by how much they were talking about PlayStation Studios and PlayStation in the Kenna thing. And I wonder, I got to look, like, is Sony actually publishing this thing this time? Because if it is, then it's more of a, of a second party game, but I actually don't know. And I don't know why they would let Sony publish it if that was the case. Like, I don't think you need them. But yeah, it was cool to see that. And I played the first one as well. Ken, I was talking about on Sacred that I played Kenna as well. I have no memory of it. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I went and looked at my trophies. I beat it.
Yeah.
Like, and I was confusing it in my mind. We were like, what was the game? It was the Pathless is the game I'm confusing it with.
Okay.
Because I was like, wasn't Kenna a launch game? And it's like, no, Kenna came out a year after the PS5 came out. You're confusing it with this other kind of archery game.
Yeah.
So I got to go back and replay a bunch of that shit at some point. But yeah, it's beautiful. And I like that those guys are animators first. It's not.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they're making something very beautiful. And I think that character is so cute. Like, she's just really cute and interesting. And I like how she's like older and like wiser and renowned in the second game. I think that's kind of a cool idea.
Cool character design. Yeah, definitely. Very happy to see the Metal Gear Master Collection Volume 2. I like Metal Gear Solid 4 a lot, so I'm happy it's not stranded on PS3 anymore. That's a huge win for me.
It's a huge win for everyone. It is a little sad because that was so funny that was true.
It was very funny.
But yeah, it's great for MGS4 to be off there. I never beat MGS4 and I barely played Peace Walker. So Peace Walker really bothered me. And I only understand that in hindsight because MGS5 bothered me too. And it's like, well,
the mission structure.
Yeah. It's like, this is not Metal Gear. Like, it's kind of like what Metal Gear Acid was, where it's like, this is a portable bite-sized version of Metal Gear that's meant to be played in bursts. And that was like obviously a card game, I think, if I remember correctly, Acid, like strategy game. But I was like, yeah, I don't like this, this is the console game now. And now it's mission structure and stuff. But that kind of speaks to me a little more now.
Sure.
To be honest, than it did back then. I kind of didn't like the PSP very much, if I'm being honest with you. So
really, you didn't like the PSP? Okay.
I feel like it was fine, but like I felt like there was such. I don't know. I just didn't really understand. I would rather have played that during that era played DS, and I did. So
interesting. Yeah,
there's only so much. There were some great PSP games. I don't want to act like there wasn't.
Oh yeah.
I loved Crisis Core. I loved War of the Lions and Mega Man Powered Up, and there was some great shit on there, but it wasn't really like my favorite thing.
Yeah, I didn't own a PSP as well. I had the DS, of course, so I played most of my stuff there, but I did borrow one from a friend occasionally to play stuff like, I did play War of the Lions on it. I did play Crisis Core. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep I played on there. And what was it called? It's Castlevania, was it Chronicle X?
Yeah, it's Dracula X Chronicles. It's like...
Dracula X, it's a remake of Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night.
Right. It's like, I think like Rondo was obviously a TurboGrafx game. And then I played that game as Dracula X on SNES, but they're different. Like I've never really played them side by side to even really understand the differences between them. But they're pretty substantial because I don't think that game would even run on an SNES. And then, well, that definitely wouldn't. There's like way too much audio and shit.
And there's full motion cutscenes and stuff.
Right.
Well, not full motion, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, there are beautiful cutscenes, and it's really all voice acted. It's voice acted in German, which is weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't have worked. So yeah, that was like I remember that too because that's when I bought a PSP, and I want to say, I don't know if there was a special edition PSP for it or something. I don't think there was, but there might have been
let me look this up.
There might have been a package of them because I did buy that. And that's what I remember too, is you just had to get to like the Simon's Quest part of the first stage of Rondo of Blood, and then you can unlock Symphony of the Night, and that's basically all I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I don't think there was a model.
Yeah, I don't think there was a model either. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if there was like a bundle I bought or something.
Yeah, there probably was.
I vaguely remember it. Like, because I was the same as you. I borrowed a PSP as well. When PSP came out, I couldn't afford one. I was in college, but my roommate had one and I would write some guides for it. Like the first game I ever bought on it played on it was, what was that? Valkyrie.
Oh, Valkyrie
Profile Lenneth.
Yeah.
That was the first guide I wrote on PSP, and that was the first time. And I told the story about how I always thought, when I looked at the PSP, I always thought the analog nub was a speaker.
Yeah.
And when I played it, I'm like, wait, this isn't a speaker?
I think a lot of people had that problem. I think Maddie had the same thing too.
It
kind of looks like a speaker though.
Yeah, it definitely does. And then, I couldn't really afford one or get one until later. Like I didn't have a PS3 at launch either. I was like, when a PS3 was announced, I was a senior in college and it came out when I was a senior in college. And I'm like, there's no prayer of me affording this thing. So I didn't get one until later.
Man, I hope we get a collection of the other Castlevania games we don't have. The N64 ones and the PS2 ones. I
Yeah.
want badly.
You want that Wii fighting game too.
Judgment, I own it. Yeah, I have it.
I remember
It
playing that
sucks.
at E3 and being like, this is bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Cool idea, actually, but
Cool idea.
bad.
Bad idea. Wrong platform.
Yeah, they do need one more 3D collection. And that was what I was saying about Castlevania is that I was saying this on Sacred, is that there's really 3 legs of the stool now. And there really always have been. Well, not always, but since, let's say, Castlevania 64, there have been 3 legs of the stool. So classic Castlevania, right? Think Bloodlines, Rondo, Castlevania 3, Simon's Quest.
Yeah,
then you
stage-based.
Right. Metroidvania, Castlevania, beginning with Symphony of the Night, Egavania. Then you have the 3D Castlevanias beginning with Castlevania 64. Legacy of Darkness is kind of a remake of Castlevania 64. And then you have the PS2 games, like you said. Lament of Innocence, right, is one of them.
Curse of Darkness,
Curse of Darkness. So those are the 3, and they've done an extraordinary job with the first 2 legs. Like everything's out now, pretty much of any consequence. There are a couple of weird things missing, but even they got like Kid Dracula out and like weird shit, right? They're doing an awesome job. It is that 3D leg now, and I wonder if they're going to do it. And I think they should, and I think they will. I believe Castlevania 64 is woefully underrated, and I've always felt that way. Even when I was in high school and it came out, I played it. I bought the Legacy of Darkness one, which was shitty. It had like that green outline of it looked like fucking 90s slop, but and I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like I don't know what people expect, and I wonder if there would be some revisionism if they got them out again.
Yeah, I think there could be. I think from what I remember with those games, the controls are very bad. Very bad. Some of the platforming is pretty bad, but I think there's some really cool shit in those games as well. So I think, maybe slightly underrated. I would say, yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, it's not Symphony of the Night, right? Like it's not Dracula's Curse. It's not. I'm not trying to act like it is. It's not. None of them
not even
are.
close.
Like, including the PS2 ones, which are much better than the 64 ones, but are still not like the best.
Yeah. No.
But that to me ultimately is the future of Castlevania. It's kind of how I feel about Mega Man. Where I'm like, if you really want this to be a thing, you have to go to the 3D AAA space. And when we bring up Bloodborne, I mean, just aesthetically in terms of environment, Bloodborne showed you what a Castlevania game could look like in 3D.
Yep.
We don't really know what Mega Man would look like in 3D. Obviously, we have Mega Man Legends, but that's not my vision for a 3D Mega Man by any stretch of the imagination. So we don't know exactly what that would look like. But unfortunately, that's kind of what you got to do. Unless you literally have like Cuphead or Silk Song or Shovel Knight or something, like you're simply not going to push many millions of units of. So as much as I think this new Castlevania game, Belmont's Curse, is fucking sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's good shit.
I see a lot of people complaining about it, actually.
I did see that too. I mean, people complain about everything.
Yeah, I'm like, that.
I saw people complain about the art style. I'm like, they switch up the art style all the time.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, put Symphony of the Night next to Circle of the Moon.
Yeah, they
next to
look different.
Ecclesia or something. Yeah, next to, like, it's like, what are you talking? Like, it's how I feel about Final Fantasy when people are like, this isn't a Final Fantasy game, and I'm like, that doesn't really mean anything,
right?
Now I think Castlevania could be brought, because we very conspicuously ignored the 3D Castlevania games from Mercury Steam. I do wonder what they would do with those as well. Those probably belong in that collection.
Take a remaster of them, sure.
The first one's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
I remember when I've said this before, but when I came across, like, early in the game, you come to a map called Veros Woods, and I was like, dude, this is a Castlevania 2 reference. Like, these guys are obviously somewhat steeped in it. They just fucked it up so bad. And that was one of the things that I saw, was that there were some people that were disappointed that they weren't spinning off of that timeline. And I'm like, why would you want that garbage? There obviously is, one of the DS games was modern too, right?
What do you mean, like in the future?
Yeah. And then
Aria of Sorrow.
Right. They like go back in time, right?
Or like further in the future. Yeah.
So it's not to say that like it couldn't be cool, but it's like, I want fucking Baroque, European, Gothic, Belmont, Dracula, Grim Reaper, Medusa, mummies, Bat.
Yeah.
Frankenstein. That, like, I want the tradition of Castlevania again, and then you can start doing crazy shit.
I think coming back, you should do very traditional kind of thing first. Then you can get a little more crazy if you want down the line.
Because Mercury Steam killed it. I mean, they literally killed the series, and it's too bad because they kind of got it. I've told the story about how they really hated IGN.
Yeah.
And Damon gave, I think gave Lords of Shadow like a 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were really upset about that. And then they ended up blaming me for that, not realizing that we're like different people. And I'm like, actually, I would have given Lords of Shadow an 8.5, maybe something like that. I actually think you guys did a pretty nice job. It was just that 3DS game was fucking trash. And then that game sucked. And then, and people were really mad at me for that review because I gave it like a 4 or something like that. I'm like, this is garbage. This is like an Egavania made by like children. Yeah. And then the Lords of Shadow 2 is like, it's almost like, what are you doing? You know,
that was a painful moment. Yeah.
Well, and that was the end of Castlevania.
Yeah. So pretty much.
What did you think of the logo though? I love how the logo looks like the old Game Boy logos. Yeah. It's like,
well, that makes sense because they talk about Trevor in the trailer, who is in, of course, Castlevania 3. I'm assuming you play as like his daughter or as his successor in this game. So I guess it's a sequel to 3, which Curse of Darkness is also, but I wonder if they'll just ignore that.
3 is obviously like the cartoon revolves around 3 as well, and the Netflix animation. And it is such a compelling place to go because Trevor is Simon's dad, right? And
that or like grandfather, one of those two.
And then you have Sypha, Grant, Alucard's introduction. So there's a lot of like cool stuff there. Plus you have Dracula and all the minions as well in there. So it's a cool place to be. I think I was looking because I was like, did another Castlevania game ever take place in France? And as far as I can tell, the answer is no. I was wondering if I was like, did Bloodlines take place in France or something? Because isn't that guy's name Eric Descartes or something like that?
Yeah,
he like uses a spear.
Guy. Yeah. That game I think like travels all across Europe, kind of.
Right. And so I was like, they're getting kind of into Western Europe at this point, which is interesting because it's really mostly contained to Eastern Europe and then maybe a little Central Europe as well. And that's frankly why I wanted to set Saint Slayer in Central Europe. It was because I was like, it's a little different. It's not Gothic really. It's kind of more agrarian. So we'll see. But I thought the logo was a nice shout out to the old Castlevania games. And I love the art style. I think the art style is totally. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and blow smoke up your ass. Would I have preferred a pure pixel art Symphony of the Night style Castlevania game over this? Yes, definitely. But all things considered, all the different art styles they could have pulled from, Dead Cells you can do a lot worse than Dead Cells. And I also think the Castlevania expansion for Dead Cells was very good. The problem with it was that it was all within the confines of this confusing structure of Dead Cells. You know, like you didn't really know how to see all of it, or like it wasn't this linear thing where it's like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It's different. It's Dead Cells. So you're kind of getting that motion twin Evil Empire thing in a more in a more traditional Metroidvania package, which I think is good because Dead Cells is cool, but I'm sick of the roguelike shit. Dead Cells would have been a lot better if it was a game, like a real, like a place and a thing you did. So as long as they're not pulling any of that shit, which I don't think they are.
Not with this one, no. Doesn't seem like it.
Then that's because that would piss me off. It was very similar to what was that game on Xbox 360, the Castlevania game?
Oh, Harmony of something, right?
Harmony of Despair, maybe, right?
It might be.
And it was like, oh, this looks just like Symphony of the Night. They're like, yeah, but it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
it's like cool.
Yeah, I wasn't hyped about that. And they had that.
Oh my god, I was so disappointed when that happened.
The iOS game or Apple Arcade game too was like the same fucking thing. It's like Grimoire.
Grimoire, right?
I was like, that's like I don't give a shit about that. Playing on my fucking phone, dude.
So I mean, we're back in it. I mean, they're doing great. So I'm excited about that,
dude.
Townfall was interesting. I thought with I don't know where I stand. I think I like Silent Hill, like because
I think that's the Silent Hill experience right there.
Yeah, it is very inconsistent. I was surprised by Silent Hill F just in that I wish it resonated with me more than it did. I was surprised, like this is a PlayStation exclusive, Townfall. Silent Hill 2 did very well. I'm just surprised that Konami doesn't want to spread the field a little more. It's a console exclusive, by the way.
Yeah.
That Rev Noir game from Konami is also a PlayStation console exclusive, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
interesting. I guess it required maybe a little Sony money to pry them open, which is good. So there's that. I'm intrigued by that Crafton Musso.
The bird one.
Yeah, Project Windless. That looks kind of neat. Mina obviously being shown. Frustrating not getting a release date. It's getting a little insane. They were saying on Twitter, I saw that like they just want to pass certification, so that they know that nothing's fucked up. You know, which I can appreciate what they're saying. It's just it is a little annoying at this point.
Yeah.
What else? Saros looks great, obviously. Tokon's not for me, but I'm sure people are going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Pragmata and Ari Requiem I don't need to see any more of. So yeah, there were some neat things in there for me.
What do you think about 007?
Oh, I think it looks great. I'm not a 007 person, so I have no love for the IP really, but I like IO, and I think it looks like a fun. It looks like Uncharted kind of, maybe a little bit more of a mobile Uncharted, some car driving. See, I mean, Uncharted has those too, but that's kind of honestly what it reminds me of. Is some sort of it's like an Uncharted game. I don't know if it'll be as good as one.
Yeah,
it might be.
Last thing I'll just mention, Control Resonant looks great.
Oh yeah.
Super excited about that.
Me too.
Very excited.
I'm happy that they are doing something different, but I because I think that's cool and I think that's bold and that's daring, but I also really did love Control's third person shooting and do feel a little bit like it's a shame that we don't get that. And it's my hope. I said that on the stream. It's like maybe we'll get some sort of expansion, or maybe ultimately like you'll get to play as both characters or do something.
Yeah,
I do lament that a little bit, but it's going to be great. I can't wait.
My action brain, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Air juggling, I'm fucking in. All that kind of shit. You know,
it's cool that they said that we're not going to do the same thing. I mean, that's they didn't have to do that.
Yeah. I think maybe because all their games are kind of just third person shooters. Maybe they're like, all right, let's try something different, I guess, this time. I could see them being like that. And I think it's appropriate with the new character, but I understand people wanting to be a shooter again. I totally understand that. All right. But overall, very good state of play. Lots of good shit here. Legends is coming out soon. I'm going to play that as well. The Ghost of Yote DLC. Good shit. Marathon, I'm very excited about. Coming soon. Star Wars Racers also looks pretty good, man.
It does look good.
The pod racing game on N64 and era. That was a great game. So
yeah,
they can channel that.
Galactic Racers. It does look good. It does look good, no doubt. That Yakko Shinobi Ops game is interesting. There's there's cool stuff, new and old. I'm gonna buy that Rayman game this weekend. It's crazy with God of War, which I started, plus Rayman. I want to play both of those things, and I'm in the middle of playing Turok 2, and now I'm starting to get stacked a little bit because I was feeling comfortable leading up to Requiem, but now it's like, well, I got to really start being more deliberate here.
Away.
Yeah.
Oh, also shout out new Dead or Alive. I didn't think we'd ever get a new one, so that's cool. It's coming back in some way.
Why would people? I'm not familiar with how it did. Dead or Alive 6 did, but was there an expectation that would be the end?
Just fighting games are in a weird state. Yeah. Where I don't ever know with fighting games. Like, I don't know if Soul Calibur's ever coming back. I just don't fucking know. That's how it feels like to me. So, and I don't know how popular Dead or Alive is. I mean, obviously it's popular because it's had several entries, but compared to other things, I don't know. Especially with 2K. Of history.
That was that thing, right? In Soul Calibur, was that what they said? The stage of history?
Yeah. Stage of history, yeah. And especially with like things like 2XKO. Seemingly dying.
Oh yeah, that thing's DOA. That's such an interesting thing though, because as I understand, that game's not on Steam. No. Right? It's on their own launcher. They didn't call it League of Legends.
Yeah.
Although I appreciate Riot trying to do some stuff, like they've released those role playing games and stuff like that, and like none of them. It doesn't seem like anyone really gave a shit. So I don't know that it would have really mattered ultimately, but they spent a lot of time and money on that fighting game, and I don't know. At least they're trying to do something different. I can respect that. They understand that you can't last forever on these single franchises, or at least it's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, they have Valorant, which is very big as well. So they have 2 now, but it is cool to see them expand the universe and all that kind of shit. But even if it doesn't work out, I'd like to see World of Warcraft do that more. But who knows with Blizzard. All right, Colin. We did talk about this, or we got brought up. The God of War game, God of War Sons of Sparta. I also played some of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you played a little bit, I played a little bit. We're big
maybe
Metroidvania guys.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. What did you think of it so far?
I don't know. I don't know that I've played. I am not blown away by it by any stretch of the imagination. I think the most peculiar thing about it is that you have to play it with a stick, to be honest with you.
That did annoy me
and
immediately.
That annoys the fuck out of me. I mean, that's just, I know that my old fans know this story, but like I'm so dead ass serious about playing 2D games that with a D-pad that the reason you could play Guacamelee with the D-pad is because of me. Because when I tested it, I was like, you guys got to move this game off the analog stick. And they did. I just think it's funny. There's like an opening sequence and then you get control. And I just had my hand on the D-pad and I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh no. And I just like flicked the stick. Yeah. And he like moved forward a little bit. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then I went into the button maps and you can remap the buttons, but you can't remap locomotion. And it's one of those things where they look at it as like, yes, the D-pad, I'm not far enough in the game yet, but the D-pad will ultimately do something like allow you to bring up commands and whatever. I'm like, you have got to let me get it off of there. You how did this game get through?
Yeah.
And no one said you have to control this, or at least give people the option of controlling with the D-pad. I cannot even imagine, and I don't know if you feel this way, Brad, wanting to play a game like this with a stick. It's crazy.
No, well, I mean,
what kind of noob bullshit is like? No one would with any skill would play this game with a stick.
Yeah,
you know. So that pisses me off. So that's in my craw right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like when I started playing it, I was on the D-pad, and I was like, oh no. Then I used the stick, and I was like, oh no, man. I'm like, playing a Metroidvania 2D game with like an analog stick just doesn't feel as good ever, never. So I don't understand, like you, how they didn't have the controls for the D-pad.
It's just the excuse will be that like, yeah, there's commands on the D-pad. And to me, I'm like, I have so many buttons and inputs on this fucking controller. You have got to be kidding me. You can use the fucking touchpad if you need to, but fix it.
Yeah, you know? I think it's a bad idea because I have those abilities that you can use on the D-pad now. And it's just like, could just used a button. It's fine.
There's other peculiar things they did too. Like, I don't know if you went into the I went and fixed this because it's like you have to go. Usually in games like this, you would press down and X to go through a platform that can be gone through to go to the lower, and you have to press triangle. But they do have an option in there because obviously there was complaints when people were playing it of like saying like, oh, traditional controls, and it's like you gotta activate the D-pad, man.
Yeah, it's very strange. Some decisions like that. I'm just like, well, we have this universal system that everyone knows in every video game. Every Metroidvania, it's like always the same to do these things. But for some reason, you didn't do it. It's like, okay, I don't know why you did this, but all right.
There are positives. I think the game's really beautiful. And I think the idea is really cool of like, of a pre-God of War Kratos. But I'm not that impressed. But it's very early. I don't want to judge it yet. You get into as with any Metroidvania, you kind of get into a flow ultimately and begin to understand it and explore it. So I want to give it more time. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm definitely not blown away by it. Like I can already tell just by the gameplay, I'm like, this isn't one of the great Metroidvanias by any stretch. But it's nice. It's a cool idea. I think the voice acting's a little too much too. Like
There's a lot.
There is a lot, and I don't think it really fits in games like this. Like you don't need voices, or if you have them, you do a Symphony of the Night more seldom cutscenes where it's like a surprise as opposed to just constant talking and chattering. Like I could do without it.
Yeah, maybe they felt pressure because God of War is such like a narrative heavy franchise as well. I don't know, but there's a lot of talking. It doesn't bother me too much, especially later on. It seems like a little more breakup pace, but maybe a little more. Tone it back like 20%, maybe. Be in a good spot. I've played maybe 3 hours of the game, I want to say, Colin. And it does get better, I think. I've started to unlock more abilities and all that kind of stuff. Like, did you get the first ability, the sling?
No, I don't even think I got that far. No.
Okay, so you're still super early.
Yeah.
You get like the sling that you can use.
I was trying to harvest blood orbs to unlock these different doors I was encountering, but some of them were really expensive, so I kind of got caught up.
Yeah. I won't spoil a lot, but you get like the sling, the first thing you get. So it's like a ranged projectile. You get your magic meter, so that starts to come into play. You get something that can make fire, which we'll use in puzzles. The level design starts to get a little more interesting, like with levers and all this kind of stuff, more puzzly, more platformy things going on, stuff trying to smash you. So that's really cool. I like all that stuff. So it's getting a little better as it goes. It's not like, I mean, you, me, we've played a ton of Metroidvanias in the space, these kind of games. So it's not one of the greats or anything like that. It's fine so far. It's all right. But I will continue to keep playing it. I'm hoping it gets better and all that kind of stuff. I was going to ask you, what do you think about the system of you have this like meter that you use to get your health back, essentially. So yeah, when you get into a combat encounter, you can hold R1 and your attacks will get like enhanced. This is the way you get health back from enemies. By hitting them, you'll get the green orbs. But as you do, your meter goes down. What do you think about that whole kind of system?
Yeah, it's cool. Games like this require some sort of novel system.
Yeah.
And this could be it. I want to play it more arcadey than I think the game will let me. You know, I was taking a lot more damage than I probably should have been because I'm playing so aggressively, because even the fodder enemies are there's no, like when you walk into the castle in Symphony of the Night, like you're fighting zombies and like things that like really have no hope of even touching you. And here it's like, yeah, everything can kind of do some damage to you. And I was so I like that they tried to incorporate the system, especially the whole orb thing in old God of War games. You knew that they had to deal with that in some way. And it was quite nostalgic, actually, opening the treasure chests, you know, holding and like that animation, although it's obviously going to be different in a 2D game, of him lifting, and you can feel the heft of it, and then all the orbs enter you. So it's a cool idea. I wonder, again, I'm just kind of, the reason I didn't sit longer and play with it is because I'm like, I got to just really sit with this game and think about it, because mechanically, I just think it's kind of all off because of the stick. Like there's a cool thing where you can like stab upward, but because you're using the stick and there's like a radial of, you're not only using cardinal directions or whatever, he's constantly like hitting the wrong. I'm like, this is so fucking annoying, dude. Like I just, it's just crazy. This is one of those things where obviously they QA tested it and people played it and whatever, but maybe a demo or something, like this is the kind of stuff that would have gotten fixed. Like there's no way that this isn't a major complaint. You know,
it's gotta be, because it's like
to the point.
I'm
like, I'm not totally convinced they won't add it. Like, I'm not convinced that they won't fix this.
I think they will. They kind of have to. It seems like,
because I was so relieved, Brad, when I went to the button map and I was like, oh, you can remap everything, and I was looking, I'm like, where is the fucking stick? Like, you can't map the fucking movement. Ugh.
Yeah. The music, I think, is pretty in line with God of War games. I just looked at it. It is Bear McQuarrie who did the soundtrack for the game as well.
Yeah, cool.
Who's done
That's
like
important.
all of the modern ones. So yeah, I've enjoyed the soundtrack of the game. It's very God of War, very cool. There's like fun, challenging stuff. Like I ran into some encounters. You can like do enemy waves, stuff like that to get rewards. So there is like a nice progression system and stuff. I've run into plenty of things I can't reach yet, which is always a good sign, where I'm like, okay, I'll come back here. One of the very first things you get is also like this statue head you hold up that shoots like a beam of light to open up other doors and all that kind of stuff. So that's fun. I do like the weapon system, Colin, in the sense that like you have your spear, but each part of the spear kind of changes something about it. So like the spearhead I have right now, it does fire damage. So you can hit a guy and it'll build up and eventually they'll start burning, which is really cool.
Cool.
The handle, or like the mid part of the spear, determines like a certain attack, and so does the other, like the bottom of it determines like a super alt attack, something like that. So I like that idea. There's obviously other weapons in the game because we saw in the trailer. I haven't run into any of them yet, but I think that's a cool idea. I like the town, like being in Sparta, actually, I think is really cool, and going to all the different vendors and all that stuff. So it seems like there's a lot of upgrades to get, a lot of that progression I'm really digging. So I'm pleased with that stuff. The D-pad, like you said, gotta fix that shit though, ASAP. It's a decent game. If you like Metroidvanias, you could have fun with it. It's definitely not the tops. There's definitely much better ones to play. But so far, I think it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm eager to get back into it. There's so many distractions right now, but
yeah.
But I am eager to get back into it and see more of it. And it's cool to see a revival of the old God of War, and then of course alongside the trilogy remake, which I think is I always wondered if they would remake God of War 1 or something. And seeing this, I mean, I don't want to be too ambitious, but I see this and I'm like, could they do the same thing for Uncharted?
Yeah.
You know,
they could.
Resistance, Killzone. I mean, obviously God of War, Uncharted would do better than God of War, but God of War is going to do better than those other things. But it's like, there's an option now in other words, there's an option now to undertake a lot of work across multiple games to create more modern versions of them. And I'm like, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I wonder who's really doing it.
The remake? That's a great question.
Obviously, Santa Monica's branding's on it. It's just, it would seem like such a waste for them to do it internally.
No, they're probably doing the next like God of War game, whatever it's going to be. I imagine.
Because Santa Monica's branding is on the 2D game too, and they didn't obviously do that.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's like association with them. Mm-hmm. I think with the God of War, the remakes will work. Like, I would be fine with just a straight port of the first 3 as well on PS5. I think that'd be cool. Yeah. But if they're remaking it, I'm down, but I'm happy there's at least other projects going. If the remake was the only thing, I wouldn't be too happy, or I'd be wanting more. But it's like, if they did that with Uncharted, Colin, like, I feel like you got to do Uncharted 5 or whatever it's going to be as well. Like,
I think they are.
I gotta know it's coming.
The audience knows I think that game exists. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with it or whatever.
I think that might be the other game they're doing at Naughty Dog. You know,
that'd be sick.
Like the one Neil's producing.
Oh, I forgot. We didn't bring this up though. Fair Games still MIA.
I don't know what they're going to do with that game.
I think they should just cancel it.
I don't know. You're probably right. I mean,
just cut your losses, man.
Yeah, it's
close that studio.
It's interesting. I wonder. I think the instinct is to not cancel it because I think that would have already happened after the playtest. I just wonder what they can really do to it at this point. I personally don't think. I think they might have something cool there, but I just don't think the audience will ever receive it properly. So
no.
So you might just be wasting your time, and it almost explains a little bit why Hunter's Gathering was announced how and when it was, because they very wisely took that away from the. Well, I don't know this, but like if that was supposed to be in the state of play, it's like that's good that wasn't there.
Well, they had a lot to say about that game, so I think if that was in the state of play, it would have been way too long as well for how much they wanted to show. Because I think they were like, we got a lot to say about this game, so we're gonna do our own separate thing. Because I don't know. It was like, what? They did a couple videos for this game already?
Yeah, well, the whole presentation was like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think it was good to keep that separate. And we'll see how that game does. I'm going to play it, but we'll see.
We will.
All right, Colin, I'm really curious about this. Front Mission First.
Oh.
This is the remake that was originally on Switch of Front Mission 1, but it came to everything now? Is it a PS5 version?
There's PS4 and PS5.
Oh, okay.
I think I played the PS4 version. I don't know why. Yeah, so Front Mission First. It's funny, the path of this game is very interesting because the original Front Mission came out in 1995 on Super Famicom. For people that don't know, and it's easy to find gameplay of it. It's a grid-based, a fairly primitive grid-based strategy game from Squaresoft, wherein you drive mechs called Wanzers. And so you have basically these 2 levels, kind of like Xenogears actually later, just in that you have 2 levels of character progression. You have like your pilots and then you have your Wanzers, and it's the way that they interact with each other that's cool and special about the game. The first Front Mission, though, never came out here. And I think the thing about Front Mission, by the way, and I was fascinated to see this, and I have to really think about, I think this is true, although I just read it. I haven't really done the research into verifying it, is Front Mission kind of comes from this idea that Square didn't wanted to make something that wasn't like swords and sorcery. Mm-hmm. And they were very skeptical about it. And I think what it ended up happening, I think the studio that made the Front Mission was called something like G Level or something. It was like an external team because Square didn't really want to do it. And then when Front Mission came to Super Famicom and it did well, they ended up buying the team. And this whole idea of doing things beyond swords and sorcery or Final Fantasy and whatnot, Secret of Mana, that kind of shit that they were doing, Seiken Densetsu and a few other things. This was kind of the beginning of that for them. And we end up getting things like Tobal and Einhander and The Bouncer, and even an idea of doing Final Fantasy VII in a more, although 6 kind of gets us away a little bit from the Dungeons and Dragons kind of shit. And I think it all begins here. So there's something very important about Front Mission, actually, interestingly enough, but it never migrated over. I don't know if it's because of the same thing that stopped Dragon Quest 5 and 6 from coming over, which is that the language barrier was such that you would need more memory in the Western cartridges, because for people that don't know, Japanese text is very compact. You can say a lot with very little. It's not the way it is with with Dragon Quest 5 and 6. It was a mess. I think even with Final Fantasy 3, which they did end up translating but never releasing, I think or 2, I think that was on NES. So yeah, I just from that perspective, I think Front Mission is a very interesting game. But we never got Front Mission 1 in the West until it came to DS. And I don't know if you remember that. I remember that very well because I went and bought it immediately when it came out. Now, everyone's got to follow me here. Front Mission 1 on Super Famicom was re-released on PS1 in 2003 in Japan. And it added an entire different storyline to it. So there were 2 storylines to it, but that also never came out here. Front Mission on DS, I think, was a remake or a port, actually, I want to say, of that game translated for the first time. This game is a remake of that game.
Okay. Okay.
So this is relevant because basically Front Mission's about like geopolitical tension. In this game, it's about like these 2 fictional countries in the year 2090. One is like the American continents. One is like Asia. And they're fighting over an island off the coast of Mexico called Huffman. And there's like multiple wars over this land. It's almost, I think it's almost like allegorically supposed to be like Vietnam, and that like or Korea, and that you are fighting like a proxy war against each other, but never really dealing with each other in totality. And the game is surprisingly deep from a story level. You basically, so I want to make sure I have my notes up here, my fucking extensive notes. So you play as the OCU, which is the Asian side in the main game. And the USN is the American side. I think it's the United States Nations or something like that. And you fight in your little Wanzer fights, in grid-based, turn-based fights. The story's cool. I won't spoil too much of it, though, but it's cool because eventually what ends up happening, and this is so unusual in the game, is that there's a peace treaty in the middle of the game. And it's brokered by a third country. And what's funny is that the OCU is about to beat the USN when this happens. Like, it's about to be over. And everyone's really confused about what the fuck, like we were killing them. Like it was over. Like we were going to win. And it ends up being orchestrated by this whole corporation called Cicada, I think, in the game, that makes these Wanzers. And ultimately they're creating Wanzers. So it becomes this crazy sci-fi story after this, where it's like, and I won't get too deep into it, but basically like they're harvesting people to make them. Did you see Battlestar Galactica, the remake?
No. Okay.
Well, in that, one of the cool things in that, and I always bring up Battlestar, I know, but one of the cool things in that is that they have the Cylons, the robots have these things called Raiders. Raiders are their fighter ships, like their fighter jets. In the old Battlestar Galactica, which is in the canon of Battlestar Galactica, they used to fly jets that were piloted by robots. But then they evolve and the robots become the ships themselves. So like they're one and the same. And so like there's a brain inside of it or whatever. And that's kind of what they're doing with the Wanzers. So it becomes like this crazy story about a journalist that breaks open this story about this corporation and like the fear of this corporation, gaining sentience with these machines or whatever. And it's pretty cool. And then the other side of it, you play. So in the PS1 version of the Japanese game, which finds its way into the other games, there's like another side to it, which is cool. And you play, and it's also a hard version of the game. So the game becomes much harder when you play on this side. You have like fewer pilots, fewer Wanzers to deal with, but you see like different perspectives of some of the same situations and the destruction of the war. But that time you're on the losing side. Or the side that's about to lose. So it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat game. Cool. Yeah. I will say there's a fundamental flaw to Front Mission, which is first, I didn't get into Front Mission until 3. That was when we first started getting them in the West. And Front Mission 4 on PS2, I don't know if you remember the iconic box art for it.
No.
With like the pilots are like laying, it's very Japanese, like it's just their faces facing different directions. This is some Advent Children shit right here. Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember this being a problem in those games. I think they become more sophisticated later, but this game's very easy to break. And it kind of makes all of the choices that the game gives you moot. for instance, you go to these shops and you can upgrade your Wanzer, the arms of your Wanzer, the body, the CPU, the legs. They can hold weapons in their hands. They can put weapons on their shoulders. They can put shields on. But the name of the game, Brad, in this game for me is missile launchers all day. And once you get access to missile launchers, you have distance and you can just destroy. Like I was like destroying the game. Now there are difficulty levels. So I was playing on normal and then I played New Game Plus on hard. And then I played the other campaign also on hard. It does get a little more difficult, but never really challenging. Like you're almost never going to lose.
Oh, really?
If you do this. And it kind of is a bummer because it's like one of those things I always talk about with skill trees or whatever, where it's like, here's your skill tree, but you don't give a fuck about any of it. It's a very similar thing here where you go to these shops and it's like, here are over time, like even after every mission, there are like 25 missions in the game, I think. After every one almost, you're like unlocking new things to buy, but there's no reason to buy almost any of it because it's like, well, what? It's like, here are 5 body parts. Here are new ones. Here are some new arms and new legs. But I'm like, why wouldn't I just select this arm, these legs, and this body? Like, what is the combination of that would be better than this? Like, why would? And then I just do it for everyone. And it's one of those games where I like to get, and some people do this, but I don't. Is like, you can make it more realistic. Like just do it. Like this guy wants to drive this company's things and this guy wants to use this stuff and this guy's a melee character. And I'm like, yeah, you could do that. And that's cool. But why?
But why?
Like you're just going to artificially make it harder for you. The game should make it harder for you. So now this becomes extra problematic because you also unlock on your pilot different skills. And one of the skills you unlock over time is the ability to lock into a certain body part. So on the Wanzer. So when you're attacking Wanzers at first, you might miss, you might hit a leg, you might hit an arm, you knock one of their arms off, they can't use the weapon in their arm anymore, you knock their legs out, they can't move, that kind of shit. But eventually you're able to aim these big missile launchers at the body. And you just boom, boom, boom. And like everyone goes, like you just surround and mob these guys and just obliterate them. And it became somewhat trivial. Like, that's kind of the fundamental flaw of the game. I was like, there really should have been a way. Either you do a Final Fantasy 4 or 6 style thing where it's like, this guy is this, this guy is this, or you make better options so that there's more of a reason for me to have a gun or a melee weapon. But I just never could understand why you would ever not have missile launchers. And it's like Final Fantasy 2 in that you get experience for what you do. So the more you use the missile launchers, the better you get at them. And you can, and the maximum stat for each thing is 9999. And it's fairly easy to do that. And it's also fairly easy to use the in-game arena to just run that number up. So the game is, for as broken as I think of a game like Final Fantasy Tactics can be, that game takes real effort to break with job points and like using the chocobo and like, you have to spend time. It's difficult. It's annoying. Yeah. You almost just want to play it normally because it's like, well, why am I even doing this? In this game, it almost asks you like, you should do this as soon as possible. And so it ended up being that on the OCU side, I ended up having like 12 or 13 characters and Wanzers, identical Wanzers with identical stats.
Damn.
Just an army of them killing everything. And so it was disappointing from that perspective, but I did dig the process. I platinumed it. I beat it 3 or 4 times. Yeah. It's probably will take you 15 to 20 hours to beat it once through, maybe, depending on how thorough you are. It's like old Fire Emblem games in that there are no extra battles or like random encounters. So that's why the arena exists, because it allows you to raise money and raise level if you want. But yeah, that's basically it. And I also think the economy is just broken in that you just have a shit ton of money at the end as well.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a really cool idea, really cool story, cool premise. That's just not balanced properly.
It makes me eager. I haven't bought it yet. From Mission 2 remake is out, and From Mission 3 is about to come out.
Yep.
I want to see more. What's interesting, I don't know if you knew this about this. I didn't know this about this until I started playing these, is that this is totally licensed. Like Square doesn't even publish these games. It's all done by a European company called Forever Entertainment, and they license the whole thing from Square Enix. So Square Enix might have like a refute, like they might be able to like give it a yes or no about if it's going to release or not or whatever, but it's a license. They don't act, they have nothing to do with it.
Huh. That's weird. Okay. Well, I guess if that other company's keeping it alive, that's cool. Just very strange that they licensed it from Square.
Yeah, and it looks pretty good too. One of the things that's funny is like there's portrait art in the game during the. One of the disappointing things in the game is like every town you go to or every city you go to is just the same backdrop. It's like a hangar backdrop and then just a menu, which is fine, whatever. But you go to like the bar and you can like talk to people, and it's like these Amano, these redrawn Amano, because Amano did art for Front Mission, and you can tell. And it's like bootleg Temu Amano art or whatever. Because I guess they don't have the license to use his stuff. Because he's always, as you know, he's always named as a licensor. Yeah. Even with logos and shit, which is, I don't know how he commands that much power. Well, he's like an independent contractor, but, so that's a little funny. It's like this bootleg, like high school artist version of Amano, but yeah, it's cool. I wonder what people might think of it. I'm not selling it very well, but I do think that there is something really cool in there, and I want to see how it evolves into the Front Missions that I know. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would like to play these someday. I don't have a lot of experience with Front Mission, but
the DS version is good, dude. I mean, the DS version is very solid. I liked it back in the day.
Yeah. So I'd like to get to them, just, who knows when. But I'm happy the series is still going. Are you going to play, what was it called? Left Alive? Is that what it was called?
Oh, yeah, that's the one that's like the
I played a little bit of it, and it was awful.
Yeah, I heard it was really bad. No, I have no interest in playing it. I never played Evolve either, which was like kind of the I don't know what they were like. Well, I know what they were thinking. That was what everyone was doing with their games. Yeah. Back in the mid-aughts into the teens, of like bastardizing the shit out of them.
Yeah. Damn. All right. Very cool, dude. Fuck Master Flex wrote and said, "What's up? This question is for both of you guys. I frequently play tactical RPGs, and I would love to know if Front Mission is worth it. I bought Front Mission first on sale for the Switch, but I'm kind of intimidated. Is it worth it? What are some of your favorite tactical RPGs? Love you guys. Do you think this is worth playing for?
I think if you're a fan of the genre, then yeah, I do, because it's one of the 10 most famous strategy, tactical RPG series. And I'm not a huge fan of every series. I'm not a big Fire Emblem guy. I never have been. I think Disgaea is whack as hell.
Dude, Disgaea 2, cool game though.
Like the stacking enemies and like the trillion point damage and
stuff.
Like
Prinny's, man?
Prinny's cool. Prinny's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this as like baby's first tactical role-playing game. But if you're into the genre, I think and you already own it. I mean, you should definitely try it. It is a little intimidating, but I think the big thing about it is you have to understand it's not as hard as it seems. Like it simply isn't.
Yeah.
Just focus. There's a whole system in the game where you have like a weight system, and your Wanzer needs to be able to support your weight. And each of them have, like, each piece you have has power, like a power denomination. So like you're really just looking for things that give you more power to allow you to carry more weight, and then more money to buy better guns, better missile launchers, and all the rest. It's fairly straightforward. Right. Overthinking it is the only thing that's going to fuck it up for you. Missile launchers all day.
All day missile launchers, baby. Okay, you heard it here first. The strat. All right. Let's stick with you, Colin. Turok 1 and 2. I have fond memories of these games.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you play Turok when you were a kid?
I did. It was the game that made me have to get a memory card for N64.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember it was very expensive when it came out. It was like the most expensive N64 game I bought at the time.
What was it, 80? Something like that?
Yeah, it was like 80 or something.
It's funny, man. There's a few things to say about Turok.
Hold on, I think about that's such a huge fucking risk to spend that much money on a game I didn't really know anything about.
That's why I just roll my eyes when people complain about game pricing. I'm just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Shut up.
When I'm like a kid, it's like insane.
Dude, $80 in 1997?
Yeah.
Is like, you're literally talking about like $180 today.
Yeah.
For Turok 1.
Yeah, I was like 10 when I did this as well. So that was a lot of fucking
But then again,
money.
I paid $80 for Final Fantasy 3 on SNES in 1994. I know people are tired of hearing this, but like when people are like, games are expensive, I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
They're literally not. They're one of the very few things in the world that have gotten progressively cheaper and better as well. We had no idea what dude, I wasted so much money on shit and Dagan did too, like just on box art. And like, we had no idea what we were buying. Maybe some screenshots or a Nintendo Power write-up. Now you have like access to long plays and all like, you know exactly what you're getting for a cheaper price. It's like, shut up. Talk to me when you went and bought Deadly Towers on NES. Ooh. Come back and talk to me about that. Okay.
Woof.
Great box art though. Turok Dinosaur Hunter. You're right. I believe Turok was what was it, like the 8th N64 game? It was something like that. It was like, it was one of the very early ones. And it was supposed to be a launch game, as I recall. And then it got pushed to March of 97. There are a few things to say about this game. From my own perspective, I couldn't give a fuck about Turok when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. It was like one of those things where I'm like, oh, this isn't nearly Japanese enough. I just was not into shooters. I was like, oh, this looks corny as hell. Yeah. It wasn't until later I ended up getting some of these games on like eBay and stuff. And I really have no memory of them. And I think it was only Turok 1 and maybe 2. There was that Turok multiplayer game that my friend liked.
Rage Wars.
Yeah. And then there's the third one, which I don't know anything about.
Okay. Yeah.
But I bought, so there's 4 Turok games on N64, but there's a Turok trilogy. And like you said, the Rage Wars game or whatever, which is like a multiplayer game. And that was, I think, built in the vein of like a GoldenEye or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny because, I couldn't care about this game at all. I thought it looked corny as hell when I was a kid. I had friends that had it because Turok was very popular. I remember it got like that special release on N64 where they would release the game.
Oh, like player's choice kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I don't know when it was, Brad, but I went, I don't buy I've got caught up in it a little bit in the past, but when there's sales on PSN, I look and I try not to buy things because I'm like, I'm just buying things to buy. Like it's with the whole Steam sale trap. It's like, I'm not going to play any of this shit. You're actually spending more money than you were going to, thinking you're going to getting games for cheaper that you would have never bought or played anyway.
Yep. 100%.
But every once in a while, there are deals that are so steep that I'm like, why wouldn't you just buy this and throw this in the pile just in case? And I believe that the Turok trilogy the remake trilogy from Night Dive was one of those games. And I bought them all. I don't know if it was like a year or two ago. And I want to say I bought them all for like $8 or something. It was like one of those things where I was like, why not?
Yeah, insane price.
And then I was done playing Front Mission, I guess it was. And I was like, what do I want to play? Nothing's really speaking to me right now. I went into my library and those came up and I'm like, all right. I love boomer shooters. Turok wasn't released as a boomer shooter. It has become a boomer shooter. And I came to love shooters later. Medal of Honor, I always famously say, was the game that made me open my mind to shooters. That was a few years after Turok. So I was like, all right, yeah. No platinum trophy, which I knew. I was like, that's fine. Who cares? Relatively short game. So that's one thing I wanted to say was really have no attachment to this franchise. The other thing is that, and I didn't know this until I was an adult, and I keep saying this, although everyone's heard me say it at this point probably, it's like, I also didn't know Turok was based on something.
Yeah.
And that might be in the instruction manual or something, or you would know that. But like when you read about it, it's a comic book franchise from the 50s that was revived in the 90s that Acclaim then purchased and started releasing under its own banner as an early attempt at cross media. And Turok kind of fed into the Acclaim run of the Vantage level comics. Because basically like the early Turok from the 50s into the 80s was like a normal Indian adventurer kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And then he was revived by Vantage in like the early 90s as like a time traveling, gun wielding, hero. And that's this Turok. I find that funny because I don't know if you agree or remember this about Turok 1. There isn't one iota of story in this game. No context, nothing.
Oh, really? There's none? Fuck.
Nothing.
Okay, in the manual, there's a little comic book I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, because I went on the wiki page and they have like a plot synopsis and all of it cites the instruction manual. Like it cites it over and over again. I'm like, all right, so there's something, and that's the way it was back in the day. I'm not super upset about that. But I was surprised by how bare bones it was. Turok 1. Mm-hmm. It's one of those games where, and this is what you were talking about early controls and how bad controls can be. And I do remember this about the game is that the controls were very controversial because you had to use the C buttons, I think the strafe.
Yeah.
So it's complicated to play. And this was all through the Z trigger and kind of the way you would hold your hands on the controller. So it made sense at the time, but they've obviously cleaned that all up and made it much more controllable. But the big thing I had to keep doing with this game was going back and looking at all the long plays of the N64 version, because I'm like, it didn't look like this, did it? And like, it didn't play like this and didn't move like this. And the reality is it didn't. Like, it's so funny. I was making Michael laugh because I'm like, there's literally an option in the game to turn the fog effects on or off, because the fog is there by virtue of necessity, but you don't really need it anymore for draw distances. But it makes the whole, like, without fog, the game, early 3D games look like they're taking place in a box. You know what I mean? Like, instead of the sky looking infinite, it looks like the top of a box, and you're you're contained within it. So you have to be kind of mindful of some of that shit. It's what we've been saying about like the upresing of various games. I'm like, Metal Gear is a great example, Metal Gear Solid, where it's like, you got to be careful because it wasn't supposed to look like this or read like this. It might make it look worse. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's funny about this game is because of the inexact controls, you're kind of directionally shooting. And I don't know if you remember that about Turok. Like, you don't really have to aim very well.
No.
Like the bullets will find their way. And this changes in Turok 2. But in Turok 1, the bullets kind of find their way. As long as you're kind of like in your reticles in the general direction of where you're shooting, like, it'll find its way to the enemy.
Yeah.
It was fine. I love boomer shooters.
Cool
They're
weapons,
very nostalgic for me. And there is like, there's so many weird mechanics in the game where like you can tell it's like the score in the original Mega Man, where like you could tell they didn't really know what to do yet. So they're like, oh, we'll put like a high score in it. And then they realize like there's a similar thing here with like, there's a live system. Mm-hmm. And like you're collecting coins like Mario, and you get 100 of them and you get an extra life. Yeah. It's like weird shit like that. Cool selection of weapons. You use the triggers to cycle through them. There's like a big radial on your side of your screen.
Crazy weapons in the game.
I like that a lot of the weapons use the same ammo as other weapons. So it kind of forces you to, like, the shotguns all use the same ammo. The machine gun or the assault rifle uses the same ammo as the pistol. So it kind of forces you to make decisions about what you want to use. And it feels a little bit more like one of the Doom games where you kind of have to cycle through your weapons because you'll run out of ammo. Mm-hmm. However, I also find, and this is way worse in Turok 2, which we'll get to, is like it's a very obtuse game. Like, I've gotten lost so many times playing these games over the last few weeks that it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, where am I? Like, where could I possibly be going right now? And you're just like going in circles over and over again. And I keep having to look at guides and walkthroughs. And even then, I'm like, I don't even know. And there's an in-game map you can bring up, but it's not great. It's fine. It's a cool little jump back to those days. And I think Night Dive did a nice job of
revitalizing or bringing it back to life. Yeah, it's definitely a product of its time for sure. I remember, does he do this in every stage? He'd be like, I am Turok.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of weirdness to it too, like with the animations. Like he revives and like he almost looks like a rag doll as he comes back to life and all sorts of shit. And yeah, there's very limited voice acting. And then the second one, so that's Turok 1. And then the second Turok is, I'm about halfway through it. I haven't played it in a few days. It's just like, it's funny because on one hand, I was looking and reading into it a little bit. They had like 18 months, which is a long ass time to make a game back then. And because it's funny, if you read the original announcements, Turok was supposed to come out at launch on N64, and they were supposed to get Turok 2 out in the fall of 97. What ended up happening was Turok 1 came out March 97, and Turok 2 came out Christmas 98. So it got pushed back, but they had a bunch of time at Iguana, the studio that made it, which ended up becoming Acclaim Austin later.
That had to deal with like a month after Ocarina of Time, I'm trying to think.
Right, it was a month after Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, because that was November, right?
Yeah, Ocarina was November, and this was like, I think this like very early December. Like it was one of those things you would get it out as just in the nick of time.
November 23rd, so late November.
Oh, late November, yeah. Good time for N64. I mean, that was a good holiday for them.
Oh yeah,
but and Turok 2 sold really well too. So it wasn't like it was overshadowed too badly by Ocarina of Time.
Black cart, man. It was a black cart. It's fucking sick.
That's right. And I love that Nintendo used to do that kind of stuff with the gold carts and the black carts. And
dude, the Doom on SNES was red cart.
Yeah, I remember that with
awesome.
Maximum Carnage was red as well.
Mm-hmm.
The SNES game.
Yeah, Killer Instinct was black on Super Nintendo.
It's so frustrating because then you look at like we didn't know at the time. It's like every Famicom game was just a different color.
Yeah.
And it's like we were just given these. Why were we just given these gray cartridges over and over again? I don't understand. And you got like the tension cartridges that were black, which was kind of cool. And but I don't know why they just thought we didn't like fun things. Don't make sure it's not fun.
I wish we got the colored buttons like the Super Famicom got.
Yeah. Like, again, I think that's just like thinking that we're not into it.
Yeah.
I like the purple kind of thing going on that.
I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. I think our version does look nice, but I just like the colors.
Yeah, I do too. So Turok 2, I don't know if you remember it like this, but like it's a big jump. Like you could tell that and I have to go back and watch because I don't know, like did Night Dive add things to it or something? Like I don't know. I know that they added some quality of life stuff. Like there's a teleporting system now in that was not in Turok 2 on N64. So you can get around the maps a little easier if you need to backtrack to find things because the maps are fucking huge. But if Turok 1 had no story, Turok 2 doesn't shut the fuck up sometimes. It's funny, man. There's a lot of voice acting in it. I don't know how they fit it all in the cartridge.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And there are like these massive maps. So for people that don't know, I guess I should explain this. Is like Turok's a first-person shooter, but it's not puzzly. It's kind of like an adventure-y in that you're exploring. You're trying to find things. You're trying to specifically find keys, these stone keys in every stage that like when all found will unlock the next stage and so on and so forth at this central hub. And Turok 2 is exactly the same. And there are other things to find too. Like you find pieces of weapons. In the first one, it's the chronoscepter. And the second one, I think it's like a nuclear bomb or something. You find little things, and it's very Doom-like in that there are like secret areas that you have to find and all the rest. So it plays like a normal FPS with some extra trappings. But the big thing with Turok 2 that I was surprised about, I was like, wow, this game really does try to extend. It knew what was wrong with the original Turok. It's definitely a reflection of it. Deeper story, deeper character development, and much bigger maps that are so big that I stopped playing the other night because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm even doing, dude. Like, what am I even like? I'm just going in circles. Like, it's so obtuse. I never remembered my friends complaining about that, and maybe I'm just not very smart. But so that's where I am now with Turok 2. I'll beat it at some point in the next few days, I'm sure. But
I think with that, Colin, it's just back in the day, you just struggled through games or whatever. That's all you could do. You had to figure it out. So, I mean, I got lost plenty in video games when I was younger. I'm sure you did too, of just like hours of not knowing what to do. Like an RPG, maybe you stop playing for a day or two and you come back and you just don't remember where the fuck you're doing or where you're supposed to go.
There were games that totally drew. Link's Awakening, the first time I played it, I couldn't figure something out and I just stopped playing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't go back to it for a few years.
Yeah, it's
I
like
I don't know.
Just Google it. You'd have to buy a strategy guide if they made it.
Yeah, I think I was mad at myself because when you would renew Nintendo Power, you would always get like a perk. You would get like a special book. It would be like a strategy guide or like passwords and codes or whatever. And I remember one of them was for Link's Awakening, and I like didn't select it. And I was like, I should have selected that book, man. It would have been. And then you're right. Like I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like my parents would have never allowed me to call the Nintendo hotline ever. That was like not even like I think they would have killed me if I tried to do that.
I did one time. It was expensive.
Yeah, it's like, what is it, like $3.99 a minute or something?
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Do you ever see the video that goes around of like the guy that was on CBS News? Yeah, I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool, man. That's like the dream job when you're a kid.
Like he just knows it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shout out in Turok 2 to the cerebral bore. Did you get that weapon? It like shoots the little ball and it like goes in the enemy's brain or whatever in the head. It's fucking crazy.
I don't think I got that one yet. That's the cool thing about Turok 2 though. It is a little more shooty at that point in terms of like you have to be a little more fine. Like going from Turok 1 to Turok 2, I had to sharpen it up a little bit because you have to be a little more. Well, also there's like the female character in it that like you keep meeting and she has like her boobs out.
Good shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my experience with Turok 1 and Turok 2 at the present.
Yeah. All right. Very nice. Let's see here. Training AI Aloy, Kratos, and Nathan Drake to recreate a Snark Tank episode wrote and said, hello, my good fellers. Mostly wanted to talk about Colin's experience with Turok 2, as we did, as it was a game that I first played on my older cousin's N64 between 1999 and 01, using all the cheats and in-game because I was a little bitch. I did replay the game on Switch less than a year ago after I got the console, and only then did I play the game properly. Happy Valentine's Day to the lovers in the company. I'm sure that's a shot at me and Dustin. There you go.
Well,
classic. The
maybe.
classic joke.
Maybe. You're starting to get tired of it? Dustin's getting a little tired of it, I think.
Just need a little more creativity on it.
Yeah, it's getting a little long in the tooth, as it were.
Yeah, just a little more creativity there, guys.
Yeah, it's hard for me to be more
I don't mind a good
it.
joke, it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll come up with something.
Yeah, you got to ramp it up, boys. All right, Colin, time for Sort It Out. Where we just talk about something we're not pleased with in the game industry, needs a little work. Do you think anything needs sorting out this week?
Yeah, I wrote in my notes here. Well, this is not the wrong page. I went back to there it is. High guard haters. Listen. High guard was, I can't judge high guard as a game, really. It's not my kind of game. I don't know. I'll let the market kind of determine that. And it has. They've laid off most of their staff. Obviously, this game's in a death swoon and will be over soon. But let's not pretend that there wasn't more in play here than merely the status of the game and if it was good or bad. And that's what's really bothering me about it. Some people from the studio have been talking about their experiences and what it was like making the game and then like seeing it get destroyed following the Game Awards. And a lot of people are being really mean-spirited about it. I actually talked with someone that worked on the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I invited him on the show. He declined, but we went back and forth. And I was like, my honest take is that I feel bad for you guys. Not because your game might have died on the vine by itself. It probably, and I told him, I was like, it probably would have.
Yeah.
But in that there were obvious external factors that precipitated a hate brigade that made it impossible for this game to ever, this is what we were saying about with fair games. It's like, you can't really overcome it. And it was kind of set in stone almost what was going to happen here. But what bothers me about it is that people say like, well, make a good game, make a better game. Like the market kind of spoke. And I'm like, yeah, it did. But are we really going to pretend that there wasn't more? Like we really have to live in a world to pretend that like, because everyone's like 100,000 people were playing the game at one time. And I'm like, that's true. And then they shed all those players. They could have kept them if it was good. And I'm like, that's true. But what, let me be honest. What were the 100,000? How many of them wanted to play it? How many of them were there? Views? One of the guys that worked on the game said like material number of the reviews, perhaps half of them or something like that, never even really made it out of the tutorial. People downloading the game to leave a bad review. Yeah. And I understand Steam allows you to differentiate with all the pull downs and everything. Like, oh, I want this people to play this much of the game and have a positive. It's like, that's true. But yet the overall number doesn't take any of that into context.
Right.
And I believe that what happened in this game was mean-spirited and wrong. I am not saying it's good. I am not saying it was worth making. I'm not saying you should like it. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that the worst thing you really could have done in this game was ignore it. And instead, people that the game wasn't for, it seemed like, were reveling in its destruction. And I just don't get it. And it's always going to be one of those things that I'm going to think about where I'm like, because the one thing I said to the guy that worked on the game, I was like, the sad reality is your game is absolutely not the last one that this is going to happen to. I promise you.
Oh, no.
And I don't mean that it's going to like eat shit and go away. I mean, like there's going to be a brigading kind of effect on other games in the future that are going to be just as bad or even worse than this.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
High Guard's low barrier to entry was both its blessing and its curse. With a higher barrier to entry, a Concord style barrier to entry, it would have died in a different way, just as quickly probably. But it would have stopped people from hating it in a way where you hate it so much it doesn't even seem like it would be a game you would play. So why are you even reviewing it? Why are you even dealing with it? And why do you think anyone wants to hear your opinions of a game you played for 30 minutes or an hour? And what he said was that people that put in time with the game generally did like it. And again, so I think I'm making sense. It's like, it's not a defense of the game. It's not a defense of the idea of the game. I don't give a fuck about High Guard. I just think it's so obvious that it feels like gaslighting to suggest anything else happened than what actually happened to it. And I've been in this industry too long, man. Like I've never really seen anything like it before.
I mean, we live in a time now where this is this is like the normal for every medium, essentially. Everything gets judged extremely quickly and written off without ever experiencing it because people can. And we have so much information, people just do it. That's just the reality we're in. I think it was probably, I had no interest in the game, really. Seeing it, and I'm sure maybe if I played it a while, I would have been like, yeah, it was fine. But that's just the environment we live in now. People are ready to judge shit quickly. I mean, we saw this with Marathon, actually. Marathon, people were fucking hating big time. But somehow they managed to turn that around a little bit. And I think with a lot of it, what sucks for this game is a blessing and a curse with Jeff Keighley. People got very upset that this was the last game announced at the Game Awards, which did hurt it, but at the same time, it put it on people's radars, so it got more exposure than it ever would have, like you said. But yeah, I mean, it is very mean-spirited, and I wish it wasn't, but that's the way things are now. So you got to be ready for that, I guess, when you're putting your game out there. You can just die instantly.
Yep. There was this idea 10, 15 years ago. I went to a GDC talk from a company. I don't even know if they exist anymore. I'll look. EDAR, EEDAR. Let me see. Yeah, Electronic Entertainment Design and Research. By Jesse Divnik. So yeah, I saw this thing, I don't know, 2011, 2012. I remember we wrote it up at IGN. I don't think I wrote the story, but the idea was these guys do like data research for the industry. And they were saying at the time, it's actually better to get bad reviews than no reviews.
Mm-hmm.
That was a different level of attention economy, though, that really, I mean, this was almost, we owned Rotten Tomatoes at IGN, so it was like we were around it, but like Rotten Tomatoes really wasn't even super relevant at this point. Like, in other words, like there was no idea that like user reviews might play in some meaningful way. Now I think, as I've said ad nauseum, like Steam being this libertarian utopia marketplace is super cool. Like there should be something like that. And it's popular for a myriad of reasons. The discoverability, the quality, the refund policy, community perks. Like it's awesome. I laugh all the time. I use Steam a lot more than I ever play it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I go on Steam to look at strategy guides and like do all sorts and like look at community forums, and I just rarely ever play anything on it. So I get it. Like I know what's going on over there, and I think it's cool. But I think the inmates are running the asylum more and more over there, and
sure.
I don't think that's good. Like I think there's got to be some controls on it, and the brigading of the game and the review bombing of the game, which was clear by people that had no real interest in it, was obvious, and it hurt it. So one of the guys that was writing about the game that worked on it was saying, like, we'll never really know, like, if this didn't happen to us at the Game Awards and Jeff and all of this, like, what would have happened? But I'm like, yeah, it's unknowable. My suspicion is you guys would have failed, but I think you would have failed differently.
Yeah,
and that in the seams kind of matters.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have a problem with what I just said, but nonetheless, like I'm not going to be gaslit. I have a lot of experience in this industry. Like I know the way games have been treated over time, the big games that came out and failed and came back and roared back and whatever. And like, this isn't Mind's Eye where it's like there's some broken bullshit nonsense that they're like totally deluded about. But there are reasonable questions to ask about the game. Like, why would you invest in a game like this? Who told you that this was going to be good? How much money did you burn through on this? People are saying this is a 9-figure game. It might be. The team is fairly big, but I don't know if it's that expensive. But it was made, I think, on the West Coast. I think they might be a distributed team. So there are bigger questions to ask about, like, and I don't know if you've heard this, but out of DICE, a lot of people are saying like the big talk of the town there is, no one's investing in games anymore, so you don't have to worry about this for much longer. You know, like if you thought that like daring weird shit was coming out, I think in a few years you're going to find the exact opposite. We're still going to get a dearth of, there won't be a dearth of games ever. We're still going to get right. They're going to be safer. We're seeing, I think, the final trappings of overabundance and overinvestment in a space that is very hard to breach, and yet there are signals that can be breached. Mm-hmm. And so there's always going to be someone with a a sparkle in their eye that's going to try to do it.
Yeah.
Because look at Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
Arc Raiders isn't even free. I mean, so people are going to continue to fight in this space, but it's going to become much more deliberate. And maybe that's the way it always should have been. But I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know why you think it's so crazy for them to try to go after this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people think it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think you have to be really deliberate and careful.
Yeah, you do. You have to be extremely careful. Yeah, I wonder if like the free-to-play model is kind of running out of steam in some certain genres. I'm not sure. Like the shooter space, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just not as... maybe people will immediately think it's much cheaper or more a cheap game, I guess. Not as good. I don't know. But I guess we'll see here. And it's a dicey field out there. So good luck to everybody because it's a bloodbath.
Do you agree with my assessment?
That it was fairly untreated?
Yeah.
Or treated unfairly?
Treated unfairly.
Yes, I do. So I think it's whack to download a game just to leave a bad review. Like that's your intent. You play it for like 10, 20 minutes or whatever, how long you have to play it. Just leave a bad review. I think it's weird. I mean, that's why I think like review bombing's weird. Because there is a lot of mean spirit. I think it's totally fine to give something a bad score if you generally feel like it's a bad and you gave it a fair shake. I think that's the way you should do it. Not everyone does it, and I can't control what everyone does. But I think you should try to be as authentic as possible. But it's like, man, I can't blame people for not wanting to play this. There's a million fucking other games out there that are excellent that they have to deal with, and to drag someone away from another game can be tough. It can be done, of course. We've seen it happen, but it's just brutal out there, man. So we see this happen all the time with games. Highguard is just the most recent example. And honestly, man, telling you, that art style didn't help.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help.
Once again, you gotta move away from whatever their brain whatever they're thinking with that art direction and that kind of style. You gotta move away from it for now. Maybe someone will come out and nail it. I don't know, but now in this time, it's not gonna happen.
There are multiple people that worked on Highguard and Concord.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to exit.
It's time to exit whatever that design is that they would label it as. I don't know. I'll use it as like the as everyone would say, the woke game, the woke character designs.
Woke.
That
new Silent Hill is woke because the guy's black.
Yeah.
I won't be having the wokeness in my games.
Yeah, it's also exhausting. But there's a lot of dumb shit out there, like dumb takes and all that kind of stuff. But you always find a good one occasionally, which is nice. Can't give up hope. Gotta make the streets better like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't break anyone's arms like Batman would or some shit. Sort out for me, I don't really know. I just did one Monday, so I don't really have anything like that. I guess my sort out would be just like, man, the fucking, like I said, the review bombing, 20 minutes, playing the game for 20 minutes. To be fair though, for this game, what I did hear about it from people was they couldn't get into a game when it first launched. There's a lot of like server problems or something like that. So that could have an effect on it, but I don't know, man. Why is everyone got to be so mean spirited about everything?
Yeah, I'm not a mean person. Like I'm a very sarcastic person. I'm a very dry person, but I'm not mean. Like, yeah. I think people, you just got to let people fail on their own sometimes. Like you don't need to, dude, I love Schadenfreude as much as the next person, but it seems like everyone's into it for everything. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. I try to be like,
how did this game slight you?
Yeah.
It's very existence.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, this game is definitely not for me, but I didn't take it personally. You know, some people take it real personal, but, at the same time, it's your right to be able to do that, I guess.
Do what you want out there. I just think you're going to get what you get. I mean, this shit just doesn't bother me. I mean, well, it bothers me, but it doesn't affect me, I should say, in that I'm not going to play these games anyway. It's really up to you guys to figure out what works and what doesn't. I just think there's more organic ways to let things fail. And I think that the worst thing you could do to a game is ignore it. Yeah,
that's true. All right. Lucky Buckeye wrote and said, hey guys, I have something that needs to be sorted out or possibly abolished entirely. For some reason, the YouTube algorithm keeps feeding me retro influencers who call the SNES or the NES as one word, SNES and NES. Those are acronyms, not nouns. We don't call the CIA, SIA, and no one is in the gaming community in the world would call the PS5 a piss 5. Sort out influencers. Use the proper terms, please.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about there are plenty of acronyms that we say. So I'm not, I don't, POTUS is one of them, right? Sega. So I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying is why we shouldn't do it. I just think NES and SNES are so offensive to me that like I can't even, especially SNES, where I'm like, SNES? Did you just say SNES?
SNES.
Listen, if you call the NES or the SNES SNES or NES in front of me, I'm punching you in the fucking face. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it to me.
SNES and NES.
Well, people always ask when you were a kid, what did you guys call them? And we call them Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Yeah. It wasn't until the internet that anyone started using these acronyms, you know, in any real way. I mean, they were used a little bit in like the Nintendo Power and stuff like that, but no one. I never knew a fucking person that called the Nintendo an NES, like until I was an adult.
Everyone just called it Nintendo,
right?
Do you know? I don't know how long parents just called anything Nintendo and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, N64. It was always just Nintendo.
And then PlayStation kind of got in there and Sega got in there a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Xbox probably got in there, although I was an adult at that point.
Yeah. From that part on, people started saying more like the actual names of it. But yeah, It was just Nintendo for a lot of stuff back then.
Right.
I'm going to go play Nintendo.
Right. So yeah, like that's like kind of I personally call bullshit on anyone that's like, yeah, we were calling them NES and SNES at the time. I'm like, nah, I don't think you were. But now that's the way we refer to them. And NES and SNES is totally like it's completely nuts. Mm-hmm. Stop.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid.
I like SNES and NES more. Yeah. SNES.
SNES. I'm playing like my SNES.
Some fucking reject Muppet or something. Hi, I'm SNES, the elephant. It's like, nah.
I'm going to go play SNES. I'm going to play my Super Scope on my SNES.
Get my Yahoo and play my SNES.
Get bent.
Someone out there is listening is like, man, come on, guys. Kevin Rafa wrote in and said, sort it out. Games that don't automatically pause when the battery on the controller dies. Some games don't give a shit and leave in the middle. Give a shit and leave in the middle of whatever you're doing, while other games tell you to reconnect the controller and pause the game. Why can this not be the same for all games?
I do wonder that sometimes about like some games know when your controller is disconnected immediately. Some games don't give a shit. Some games let you go to the menu. It doesn't pause the game. Some, go to the cross media bar. The game keeps going. Like, I don't know. I really don't.
Don't know. I don't know.
But why are you guys letting your controllers die?
I don't know.
That doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know that that's. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to me at some point, but I'm always plugging my controllers in. Yeah.
Maybe they only have one. I don't know.
I only have one too, but I don't know. I just feel like I try to be I have like a little bit of an internal battery about like, or a barometer of like, yeah, you should probably, when you go to the bathroom or go make a sandwich or something, like you just plug this in.
Plug it in. Give it a little juice. Yeah. That's kind of how I am. I can't recall the last time I had a controller die.
Especially I've had a few times where the warning comes up.
Yeah, the warning, of course. Yeah. But yeah, like straight dying, no. That's like people who run out of gas.
Right.
I'm like, how
do you run out of gas? Unless you're like just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in some rural area, maybe.
Pay attention.
Wombat Dances wrote in and said, sorted out, discussing GOTY in early February.
Oh my God.
The discussion always starts this time of the year for some reason. There's another 10 months worth of games released and announcements. You can't evaluate what the year looks like until at least May MIO. I'm still making my way through last year's games. I don't know if this is directed at me because last week I put Summon Sign like, could Neo be like a GOTY essentially? Just fucking lighten up, guys.
Wow.
Basically, by saying that, I'm saying it's a really good fucking game. It could be one of the best games of the year.
Well, I think you start introducing games into a pantheon that you later start to narrow down
the line.
Yeah. Because that's kind of the way I look at it too. Like when Mafia came out, I was like, yeah, this is one of those games. It's going to be a big game for me this year, or Expedition or whatever. So I think it's okay to start like, I've played one of those games in Lovish that I think is going to be a game of the year, like top 10 game for me.
Yeah.
So it's cool to like keep that in. But I actually agree with Wombat Dances in the sense of like, let's relax a little bit as well. I mean, there's so much coming out still. Who even knows how it's all gonna mix up?
But what I'm saying with that is it's like, hey, this is one of the top games of the year. This could be in the conversation. Yeah. I don't know if it'll make it at that, but right now, yeah. What's the problem about me fucking saying that?
Clickbait.
Yeah. Fucking need it.
Yeah, we do. I don't use clickbait.
I know you use obscure 2000s Creed lyrics or some shit for your titles.
I named the last one after. I've actually 2 weeks ago. I thought this was a little weird. I forgot to bring this up on Sacred. Actually, I named it after a 3 Doors Down song.
Oh, because the singer
Loser, and then that guy died.
Yeah,
which I was.
Damn, you caused this.
Really strange, actually. This last week was named after a song by a new metal band called Flaw.
There you go.
Excellent band. Well,
not everyone has that kind of power to be able to do that. All right. Let's see here. Was that it? Yes. Okay. That's it for keep or sorted out.
I want to be clear, by the way, Brad. I know I'm hurting the show by doing that. I just don't care.
Oh, I know. That's fine. Hey, dude, whatever works for you, it works. The audience likes it, I guess. Yeah, whatever. All right. Keep it up time. Calling the exact opposite stuff we're pleased with in gaming.
We already talked extensively about them, but I had in my notes here, keep it up, Konami. I just think you're doing great. I mean, I am rooting for you, man. And I would love to know how it all is going behind the scenes, what's kind of getting you out of your state of, I don't know, staidness. Just you were happy with the gym money and the pachinko money and the occasional game. You didn't really seem to care. And now you're like all the way back in, it seems like, and it's going well. I think if this keeps going in this direction, we are going to have a truly powerful Konami in the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm eager to see, we talked about this on the stream, I think, is like, will you try to do Metal Gear without Kojima?
Mm-hmm. Don't do it.
Eventually you're going to run out of things to remake. Although that's far away. I mean, they can still remake MGS2, MGS1 again, MGS4.
Infinite Silent Hills.
Yeah, Silent Hills, of course. The return of Castlevania was the last big thing that we needed. Obviously, there are a lot of things with Konami that I care about that I like, Contra and stuff like that. But I have no expectations for those things. It would be cool to see things like Blades of Steel come back, or for them to do cool shit with Bomberman again or whatever. But it really is for me all about, with them, it's Silent Hill, Castlevania, and Metal Gear. And now all 3 of those things are going. Now, what's so interesting about that game, what was it called? Rev Noir. Is like they're making a new IP. Mm-hmm. So and of course they have Yu-Gi-Oh! And eFootball and all the shit that people like as well, but they're doing great. And I'm really, really rooting for them. You and I have said it many times. For younger gamers, it's hard to imagine a time when Konami was very present, but they were. And they were one of the greats.
They were like a Capcom.
Yeah, they were one of the greats.
Yeah.
For 20 years. From the mid 80s to the mid aughts, probably. And then they just kind of stopped. So we'll see what happens with them, but I'm pulling for them, man. And I want them to go back to the old Konami logo. I hope that they do eventually do that.
So good.
I don't know why they haven't done that yet. The red logo sucks.
Yeah, I need that intro, that old Konami intro again. That's what I need. Mine was Konami as well. You brought Castlevania back finally. Thank you. I'm very happy about that. So give you your flowers there. Must reward good shit. All right. Let's see here. Trey Peroth wrote and said, "Sup, boys? Wanted to issue a keep it up to Cobra Commander. One of the many reasons I became a loyal listener and patron to LSM is because of the games you play and the way in which you approach them. Not many people out there with your background and knowledge of the industry actually play and platinum somewhat obscure titles. Very interested to hear your thoughts on Astalon Tears of the Earth, as this one has been on my list for a while to play sometime soon. P.S. The real reason for the write-in is to Trojan Horse a request in for an SS Plus episode, full-on Epstein file episode with Jaffles. Just wanted to butter you up first. Can never get enough Jaffles.
Yeah, well,
I don't like Jaffles.
Jaffles. I think I came up with that in my mind, and then I actually said it, and Justin really liked it.
I don't like it.
It's a little unsettling.
Yeah. It's not the Dagster, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's not the Dagster or muffin or anything like that. It doesn't quite work the same way. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I am an unorthodox and heterodox gamer. You know, like I feel like, I mean, my personal opinion on myself, I mean, I guess, you know, it's like everyone's gonna have their own opinions on me, of course, is like, I have quite a bit of credibility. I play a lot of games, and I play a lot of different kinds of games, and I play a lot of obscure games. I think you would be surprised about like the people you follow and like out there. Brad obviously is a prodigious player of games, and a lot of it, like Maddie, Cog, Dustin, people are playing a lot of games. Micah, like a lot of games within our community. Fucking Hogue is always, I can't believe how much Hogue plays. Considering he's like not even really in the industry as a full-time person. But I feel like the beauty, like the spice of life is variety. Mm-hmm. And I love playing games, and I love playing them completely. And I've always loved playing them completely. I love beating them and I love getting all the heart pieces in Zelda and getting all the weapons and getting, you know, seeing every piece of territory or doing every side quest. And it was long before we were ever tracking them. And I think a lot of that goes into my OCD and my guide writing shit and whatever. And so I just like playing games to a complete degree, and I like moving around to different games as well. And early in the year is usually a great time to play things that are not AAA because nothing's really coming out yet. So it's a good time to just fuck around. And that's what I've been doing.
All right.
So thank you.
Yeah. Hunter Murphy wrote and said, "Howdy, Summoners. I just wanted to give a keep it up to the Switch 2. I'm primarily a PS5 user, but my fiance snagged me a Switch 2 for Christmas." Do you think you must think Seinfeld every time you hear fiance?
Oh, my fiance.
Yeah.
Where is my fiance?
Yeah, every time. And I'm extremely surprised with how often I use this thing. I'm running larger games like Pragmata better than I'd expect. And it's made me have to really decide which console I'd buy certain games for. Not to mention that this is the perfect device for indies and JRPGs. Keep it up, Nintendo. Well, there you go. Obviously, I host Punching Up, so I'm a big Nintendo guy. But I don't play a ton of third-party stuff on Switch 2. One, because I want fidelity. Two, not big on handhelds. I'm not a big handheld gamer. If I was, it would be a completely different story, like Micah. Mm-hmm.
She's always playing it.
So I don't get the most out of a Switch. That's for sure.
Well, I'm glad he's enjoying it. Switch 2 is a cool kit. For sure.
It is a cool kit, yeah. All right. We got a game recommendation here from the audience for the audience. Dark Matter wrote and said, "Hey, Summoners, just a game recommendation. Crystal Theater of Idols came out last week, and it's a little gem. It has some jank to it, and the enemy variety isn't the strongest, but the world design and vibes are immaculate. It's like BioShock meets Resident Evil with a lot of Spanish Catholic themes. Blasphemous comes to mind as well. For $17, I think it's well worth it for a weekend romp." I actually bought this as well a while ago.
I saw this because I did see people recommending this, and it does look cool. Maybe I'll look into it. Blasphemous is one of those games I just never beat. I didn't like it. But it was long. It was 8 years ago. Maybe I played Blasphemous. I mean, maybe things change at this point. You know,
it was a while ago. Yeah, I like both those games. They're both cool, but just me weren't just feeling it. That's fine. Can't be resonating with everything. Oh, I have a keep it up here. I must have forgot to put somewhere at the top. Well, we'll just read it here anyways. Simon Road said, "Sup, y'all? I want to give a keep up to Ubisoft for doing the 60 FPS updates for their older games. Been thinking about replaying Far Cry 3 for a while now, and they finally gave me the push I needed. And on a side note, what is the ultimate form for a potato? I say the French fry."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, French fry.
Mashed potatoes are great too.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, you're a Far Cry enjoyer there, Colin.
Oh, God, I love some Far Cry, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I tell you what, dude.
Far Cry is so good, dude. Like, it's just one of those things where when people are, Far Cry 6 is really good when you don't have some bitch in your ear telling you how bad it is. It really, no one's opinions on Far Cry go, or I should say, let me put it this way. No opinions on any series I like go in one ear and out the other more than Far Cry. Where I'm like, okay, you don't get it. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you don't understand why it's awesome to be in Cuba, jumping out of an airplane, fucking, parading down, fucking shooting dudes and taking over. Dude, Far Cry is so playable and so fun. Where I wonder if people even enjoying things when they make fun of it.
Sure.
God, it's so good. I hope they don't fuck around with it too much. Sounds like they are, but
it sounds like they are. Absolutely. All right, Colin, next game from you, Lovish. What is this?
It's a fucking sick game, dude. I'm loving this game.
Okay.
Pardon the pun. Lovish is a game that came out just last week from when we were recording. It comes from a studio called Labs Works, which I actually think is just one guy and some maybe a couple guys and some freelancers. They made a game called Astalon, which I'm playing now too, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But came out February 5th, and I saw it late last year. I like the key art, like the box art is really cute. It's like Japanese, and I was like, oh, I'll keep an eye on this. So I think I like hearted it or something, favorited it on PSN, and then it came back up, and I was like, oh yeah, let me look into this. So I ended up buying it. I think it was 10% off on PS Plus, so I think it was like $13.49 from a regular price of $15. And it is so great, dude. Like I so highly recommend this game, like with my whole chest. It's so great. It's now obviously go look it up and see if it's free. It's very old school. But I'm really astounded by how funny, clever, interesting, cute, challenging it is, and how it doesn't seem like anyone gives a shit about it. And it's just one of those games, man, where like I think it has 50 reviews on Steam or something, and doesn't seem like anyone on PSN is really playing it very much.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those games that if people just knew it existed would really be like, whoa, this is awesome. So what it basically is it is an 8-bit style action game, 2D action game, presented somewhat like, I don't know why the series keeps coming to mind for me, but do you know the series Adventures of Lolo on NES? There were 3 of them.
I don't think so.
It was a series of, it was a puzzle series, a trilogy.
Oh, I remember seeing this box art.
Yeah, and it's a HAL game, HAL Laboratory.
Yeah, you're just a little ball.
Yeah, and it's a puzzle game. So I want to be clear that this is not a puzzle game. Lovish is not a puzzle game, but it's this series of like puzzles presented as one screen. There's another game called Arkista's Ring on NES that this is kind of like as well. And you're kind of progressing further and further into the game by completing these often one screen situations, these scenarios. In this game, the scenarios are not puzzle oriented, but rather action oriented. And so this blue armored knight goes into a stage 1. It's a static screen. There's a door and some enemies, and you have to just get to the door and leave, right? And the further you get into the game, it starts getting more complicated. You have to start hitting like buttons, and you'll have to start getting keys and all the rest. But it's all about just getting off the stage to the next stage. Beating the game itself is fairly simplistic if you know how to play 2D action games. But that's not what the game's really about. What the game's about is doing extra stuff on each stage to earn these crowns. And there are 264 crowns in the game that you collect. If you get all the crowns in the game, then you unlock these secret areas and then the real ending of the game. So each stage has 3 crowns to find. You get a crown on each stage for beating it quick. You get a crown on each stage for beating it without hitting anything, like fighting anything or getting hit. And you get a crown for finding like a hidden crown somewhere in the stage. Sometimes the crown is in like a Castlevania-like broken block. Sometimes you have to kill all the enemies to make the crown appear, or kill the enemies in a certain order or whatever. And that's kind of like the secret of the game. What makes the game so special, in my opinion, is its humor. And the way it's presented, almost like WarioWare. So I'll get into that in a second. So the game's premise is very funny. It's about so the blue armored knight is like the knight, like the knight character in a party of 4 in like a JRPG party. And there's like a healer, a wizard, and a monk. And in the beginning of the game, they're like, we're going to go, there's like this really sexy princess, and they're going to go rescue her. And the main character, Solomon, has this helmet that he like gets that like lets people fall in love with him. He has like this love beam or whatever. And he's afraid. So he like is really smitten with the princess. And at some point, and this all happens before the game even begins, like he's like, I'm afraid that she's going to fall in love with one of the other people in my party. So he abandons them and like leaves them behind and goes into this castle to try to kind of find her and make her fall in love with him by herself without any risk of her falling in love with the others. And so there's this real funny humor to the game. This real, like, no one really likes this guy and he's a dickhead. And the princess is so, like, he has dreams about the princess, like, showering and all this stuff. It's very funny. And after you beat each stage, so if you lose on a stage, you lose a heart. You start the game with 200 hearts. It ends up that the hearts don't really matter unless you want to get the special ending, which I can talk about. But the hearts actually can go into the negatives. So it really doesn't matter. But each time you die, you lose a heart. And you can gain hearts by beating a stage. And then the game kind of turns into WarioWare. So like you beat one of the action stages and then the game presents you with like a scene. Sometimes it's just dialogue. Sometimes it's like you find a new character to add to your friends list or whatever in the game. Sometimes it's like a mini game where you have to like jump over things or like avoid things. Sometimes it's literally Vampire Survivors. Sometimes it's literally a Game Boy Zelda game. Like these things just pop up and you have to play them and then you're back to the game again, win or lose. And then you get back to this world map and go on to the next stage. Every 10 stages there's a boss. Solomon tries to get the boss to like fall in love with him with his helmet and all the rest. And then you move on. There are, I think, 70 stages. And then if you do a bunch of things, you have to find like these hidden moons in some of the stages. Then you unlock another 20 stages. Like I said, getting all the crowns plus 200 hearts will allow you, I think, to get the special ending, which I did. I platinumed the whole game. It's great, dude. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. I said this game looks great. I love the little cutscenes. Like there was one, you're saying these little random encounters like, there's a well. Do you want to jump down it or no?
Mm-hmm.
And he jumped down it and as he was falling, he yelled YOLO and he just landed on spikes.
Right. And
like,
so you lose a heart because you made that choice. Like there are things where like, it's like you encountered a chef. Do you want him to cook for you? And then like you say yes. And it's like, you've gained 8 health points or whatever. Or like, and there's another one where it's like you find a piece of meat, eat it. And if you eat it, you like lose hit points. If not, you kick it. And it says something like, you karate kick the chicken. Why? Or whatever. Like it's so the cool thing about this is that I think the guy's name is Matt Park or something.
Matt Piscatella. Game dev now.
Someone that works with us at Lilymo in some of our games works with this guy and has given me his email address. So I'm going to email with him because I want to be like, I would love to talk to him, but I also want to congratulate him because I think it's super cool. Like dude, this game is so great. And it's 15 hours or so. It's just the right amount of challenge. If you're a 2D gamer, you'll have no real problem with it. It's a little difficult. Like it's one of those games where you beat the stages multiple times. Cause like you could do some of them. You could like beat the stage really quick. Don't fight anyone, find the crown and get out. And you can get all of it at once. But typically you're going to be like, all right, let me figure out how to beat this stage. All right, let me figure out how to beat the stage quickly. Let me figure out how to beat it without hitting anything.
Right.
And because they do a really cool thing where like some of the crowns don't like, you can't unlock any crowns, I think, until you're like 20 or 30 stages in, which makes you go back. And then like the second crown can only be unlocked further in. So you have to go back. So if you're a completionist, it really speaks to you in that way.
Yeah.
I won't spoil the story, but it's very funny. And like where it all ends up and where it goes is very cute. And it's incredibly charming. I can't believe this game. I mean, I can believe it because there's so much to play, but I can't believe this isn't a bigger game. It's probably sold in the thousands of copies, maybe. I don't know. Check it out if you're out there and you sound interested in it. Lovish, Lovish. Pardon the pun, smitten with it. I think it's just great.
Okay. Yeah, it looks awesome. Really cool game. I like the visual style a lot. I think it works really well for that type of game. All right, Colin, next. We're going to talk about your favorite Zelda game. Actually, you haven't been playing it. I have. That is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, the 3D version. Specifically, that was on 3DS that came out. How long ago was that? Like 2000, I don't know, 2016
it was,
maybe?
Yeah, it was like 14, 15, 16, somewhere there. Because they did Ocarina first, right? And that was really early.
Yes. Yeah, let's see. When did this come out? 2015, February 13th. Okay. But yeah. I decided to replay this. I did replay Ocarina of Time 3D pretty recently. So I was like, I never finished the 3D version of Majora's Mask. So I'm going to actually play through that version. Now, the reason for that is the 3DS version for this game makes some changes that I don't necessarily like compared to the N64 original. Way more drastic than what they did with Ocarina of Time. One thing is, a lot of the boss fights now just have giant eyeball weak points when you had a lot more freedom in how you want to take them down. Like, for instance, do you remember the boss fight Goat, Colin, in the second dungeon, that goat that runs around in a circle and you have to go the Goron form and roll around.
I don't. I'm
kind of run into
I'm looking it up now. It's been many years since I played the game.
Yeah. Well, basically, in the old game, you would knock him down. After that, you can just kind of wail on him. And this one, he has a giant eyeball weak spot that you have to hit in order to hurt him.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you can't hit him with the sword. You got to use your bow or something like that. I'm like, I don't really like that. The biggest thing that pisses me off about this is the swimming in this game. So you get a Zora mask in the game, and swimming is a big part of the game. There's an ocean you go through, really cool. And in the old game, you would swim really fast, and it'd be awesome, the movement. In this game, they really slowed your swimming down, and he swims much more like normal, like a human. However, if you use your magic beam or your magic thing that drains your magic meter, he swims like the old one. And I'm just like, man, you made this just less fun. It was a mechanic that just made it less enjoyable all around. So like a baffling decision to me. I don't know why they did that.
Interesting.
But now there is a journal that can keep track of a lot of stuff you've done. So you have an idea of like quests that are coming up. So you can keep track of that easier, which I think is probably better for, you know, everyone else playing the game, especially for first timers. Because Majora's Mask, I think, is a very intimidating game for a lot of people when they first hop in. You got this time mechanic. It's not explained the best about how you save stuff, and you have to drop all your stuff off, like your rupees off every time before you rewrite time. You have a time limit, and that can be very stressful for people. Like, you got to get through this dungeon, or you want to, but you only have a certain amount of time before everything resets, so you got to make sure you do it in time. I think that stresses a lot of people out, but I think it's really cool in the sense that each day has different events, and like people have different schedules, and different things happen on different days, which makes it feel much more alive. And I really like this idea of like this Groundhog Day kind of reliving events and redoing them and getting different outcomes for certain things. I think that's all really cool. It's a very interesting story as well, because it's not Ganon, you know, it's not like a big evil guy kind of wreaking havoc across the land. There is an evil thing, but it's more of just this mask possessing an innocent kind of person, and eventually, like inevitably having the moon crash into the world, which is such a cool thing that haunts you throughout the game, because you see the moon in the sky throughout the entire playthrough, and it has this really eerie, evil looking face on it. And every day the moon gets closer, and you can just see it getting closer and closer, and it really adds this awesome sense of tension to the game that I think is so cool and unique, especially for how quickly this game was made. I think this came out in 2000. Mm-hmm. I think they had like a year or so to make.
Yeah, I think
they
did it in like, it's like 14 months or something, right? Something like that. It's incredible. It's like absolutely,
yeah, it's incredible.
Crazy.
And you could tell a lot of that because they reuse a ton of assets, like characters. Like you just see characters that are exactly the same, but they're like completely different personalities. Like think of this game takes place in a place called Termina, and it's kind of presented almost as at the beginning. I like to say it's like Alice in Wonderland, essentially, where you're at. There's familiar elements, but it's all just a little weird or unsettling or a little fucked up, this entire game. It has like a weird, dark, sinister vibe to it.
Oh, definitely, dude. That's what I loved about it. It felt so different.
Yeah, it definitely feels different. Like, I think Zelda games, like some games have that feeling as well. Like, Twilight Princess has a very dark and sinister feeling to it, but it's just different. This is like a much more odd kind of feeling world. Like I said, like Alice in Wonderland. That's what it is for a Zelda game. And I would replay it. And I think this game has a lot of good strengths, but there's things I don't like about it. Strengths-wise, I think the mask system is really cool. Transforming into these different characters with different, unique abilities is super rad. Like, you get to be a Deku Scrub and roll around and, like, hop in a flower and shoot out and glide across the sky. You get to shoot your little bubbles or leap across the water. You got the Goron, of course. You get to punch the shit out of things and roll around really fast, which is awesome. The Zora, of course, swimming. And he's much more nimble, and he can like shoot his fins out as an attack, like a boomerang, which is really cool. I love the mask system. I think the masks are so cool that you get throughout this game, and the side quests that are tied to them. It's all like very melancholic, a lot of the storylines. There's a really cool storyline about like two lovers and their whole scenario going on there. I love that kind of shit. I also got to say, I love, like, as the days progress, some people dealing with the fact that the world is ending and they're like panicking. And there's some characters that you run into that are just kind of apathetic to everything, or they've accepted their fate. It's very very emotional how it handles all that kind of stuff. My problem with this game is I think the dungeons are pretty weak compared to a lot of other 3D Zelda games. Like particularly going from Ocarina of Time, I think they're quite a step back. They're not like awful or anything like that. I just think they're not the strongest.
Well, there are fewer of them. They're bigger, right?
There are fewer. They're not necessarily bigger, but there's fewer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things they added into them, like basically every dungeon you go through, there's also fairies you can collect.
Right, I remember that.
And if you collect all the fairies in a dungeon, you can get a reward from a great fairy outside. Like the first one you get, I think, is maybe like an increased magic meter or something like that. So they're good rewards.
It's like, great, thanks.
Yeah, there's some really good ones later on, like a sword that's really strong. Right. But they're not required, but they are helpful, and I do get them every time. And I think it's just kind of, it kills the pace of the dungeon for me because I'm always thinking about these fairies and like looking for them throughout the whole thing. And I don't pay attention to the rest of the dungeon as much because of that. And it doesn't help that the layouts just aren't as cool. I think the dungeons themselves, from a visual standpoint, are cool though. Like the first one, Windfall Temple, is like some ancient, like Aztec looking ruins in the middle of a swamp. The snow, is it called Snowhead? I forgot what it's called, but it's like on a giant ice mountain and you're like going up a huge like mountain almost, and you're raising things and punching out pieces of the dungeon to lower a beam, which is cool. The later one's like a water, it's like essentially like a water factory, almost like an oil rig that you swim through, which is a nightmare to get through because there's water currents blocking you and all that kind of shit. But it's very interesting, all that kind of stuff. I do like that. I just think the process of going through it is not as enjoyable. The pacing, I think, is kind of not as strong as OOT as well. Like the amount of back and forth you have to do for some things. You have to repeat some events if you don't know everything extremely well, which can be cool, but also kind of annoying after a little bit. Like I've re-fought Goat like 3 times already. I'm like, I'm fucking sick of this kind of thing. I'm sure it's more of like a permanence. You could like maybe skip some of that. I don't know. But don't get me wrong, it's absolutely a must play in my opinion. You need to play this game, especially if you're a Zelda fan. If you're looking for something a little different in the Zelda universe, something a little weird. There's weird Zelda shit, like Link's Awakening is a weird fucking Zelda game, for instance.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird game. I never really liked Link's Awakening that much. It's like one of my least favorite.
I like it. I don't like it as much as a lot of people, though. Yeah. I will say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to the 3rd dungeon now, when there's like 4 mostly total. There's like some cool little like side thing later on. I remember like a cool idea, but I remember going through it as not super rad. It's like this ancient kingdom that's ruined essentially. But I think the strength of this game is a lot of it's atmosphere, its story, and like the characters that you meet throughout the world. I think is like the strength of this game, and such a wonderful, special game in that way. Not my favorite Zelda game. Like I said, I got problems with it, but an absolutely enthralling adventure, especially for the first time. Please, if you play this game, play it without a guide. Please don't look anything up your first time playing through. I think that is the most enjoyable way and the most natural way to feel part of this world. If you are trying to do something forever, like you're trying to get this mask and you just can't figure it out, sure, look it up. But I think a special part about this game is just kind of stumbling into events, and it makes it much more enjoyable. But yeah, awesome game. Colin, wax poetically about this game for a few seconds.
Yeah, Majora's Mask. I remember so well getting it because it was, I think, the second to last N64 game I bought. Maybe the third to last one. Because I've said before, it must be, I think there was a Dr. Mario game that came out really late on N64. And I think that was probably the last one that I bought, like actually knew.
Yeah.
But I remember going to the mall with my dad after hockey practice to get it. And also buying, I've said this a million times, I bought Limp Bizkit's 3rd record at that time too.
Oh, hell yeah. What a day, dude.
I have my Limp Bizkit shirt on right now. And so I listened to that record, Hot Dog, Chocolate Starfish and Hot Dog Flavored Water, as I was playing Majora's Mask, and they always connect the two for that reason, which is so funny, in my room or whatever. It's funny, Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game, I think, but it's been so long now. Over the years, you just keep saying it. I haven't played it since the GameCube version. So it's been...
That was like before Wind Waker,
right?
I think.
It was it? No, I think
that was a pre-order bonus. Maybe you played it
No,
after
there was one.
Oh, you know what? They did do another one.
Yeah,
I forgot
the
about
Nintendo
that.
Power one. That was 2000.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of the OOT Master Quest thing.
I have that too. There was one, Nintendo Power did that one where they released Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina, and Majora's Mask.
I never had that.
I have two of them, which is funny. I've told that story in the past, is that like I never got it in the mail, or I didn't think, and so I complained, and they sent me another one, and then the other one came. So and those are like, I think, some of the most expensive GameCube games.
Yeah, those are, yeah.
So I have two of them. That was the last time that I've ever even messed with those games. I did play Ocarina since then, but I have not played Majora's Mask. I played Ocarina in 2021 or 22.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys did knock back on it.
Right. And I always expected we would get to Majora's Mask. We just haven't yet. I'm sure maybe one day we will. But Majora's Mask on paper is not something I like. I was saying earlier about, I don't want them to fuck with Far Cry. The rumors about Far Cry is that they're making, or at least they were making, a game that's like takes place within a 30-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
And you were going to do as much as you could in 30 hours, and that was the game. And I'm like, I don't really like that on paper. But then you get into like and I remember being really skeptical of Majora's Mask, reading about it, Nintendo Power and stuff. And I'm like, oh. But there was something exciting about it too. And then when I played it, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, because the level of urgency of Majora's Mask can be fitted with the idea that you really can just go back over and over again as much as you want. So there's no like limit to it. If there was like something where like you have like 3 resets and each day is 90 minutes and each 3 days is a reset and all of that, like that would be much more annoying. And then I would be like, you really should play with a guide, because like you're going to need to figure out like the smoothest way through this game. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, the unorthodox nature of Majora's Mask just really hit for me. And I loved it at the time. I was so smitten with the game in 11th grade. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And I wasn't a Zelda skeptic even at all at that time. I loved Wind Waker immediately too. So it was like, it wasn't until Twilight Princess that I was really like, Mm-hmm. And even then it's like, I never beat Twilight Princess. I don't really know much about the second half of it at all. So it's like one day maybe. And by that point I was totally out. Like I never played Skyward Sword or anything. Yeah. So, what I like about it is the chip damage that you do to the overall world and story, and kind of try to get as far as you can and then be like, all right, I'm backing out. That was one of the things that I remember loving about the dungeons, was it's like, I got to get out of here. You know, like there's not enough time, and the whole, and I think I recall that the whole dungeon resets, right? When you do that?
I think so, yeah.
But like the fairies you collect and some of the shit you find, I think doesn't, if I recall, right?
I think they reset as well.
Because I feel like what I remember about the dungeons, and maybe what I'm remembering is a little, well, obviously you're playing it. I remember like feeling it out and then being like, all right, I think I got it. And then I'll leave and reset the time, put the moon back, and then do it. And I like the idea of like, you got to just do it. Like you have X amount of time to do it. And I remember really, really enjoying that urgency that's not found and not necessarily even needed in old Zelda games. The darkness, I also am glad you brought up. Like there's something unsettling about Majora's Mask. Even the purple complements to the art and the blackness of it. There's something supernatural to it. And I was thinking, I'm like, Zelda 2 is kind of dark depending on how you interpret it, and certainly like you're starting with Zelda's like fucking comatose body and Zelda I was gonna say Zelda 3, which I guess it really is. Link to the Past obviously has the literal dark world, but I think has a cartooniness to it that doesn't ever really let it read that way. In fact, the most unsettling part of the dark world in Zelda 2 is when you first go to it and you can't do anything and you turn into like the rabbit and you have to leave or whatever. I'm like, this is very creepy, but Majora's Mask, I think, really goes all in on the true darkness of the world in a way that's not so literal like Ocarina of Time did, where it's like the future is all fucked up and it's dark, and then you go back to being Child Link and now it's fine again. And like it's very everything. In other words, it's always light and dark, very literal. This is about a level of ever-present urgency. And the other thing that I really dug about the game, and I definitely remember this, and I had the print strategy guide because I needed help with a lot of this stuff, was just the 3 days in the game taken as a whole. Things happen at certain times in certain places, and if you're not there, then you never experience it, but you can always reset it and try again. And so what I remember doing in the game is like, I want this one mask. So you have to be like in a certain place, day 2, halfway through the day or whatever. This person runs by or whatever. And then you have to like chase them and you go and talk to them or whatever. I love that kind of shit. I thought,
yeah, that's cool.
It seemed, in hindsight, I think it's an obvious evolution of the day-night cycle and the obvious evolution of the past, present, future cycle. And I think that there's something laudable about that, especially in the confines, like you said, the very strict confines that they made the game in, because you could have imagined a reality, since they were well aware of the GameCube by late 98, that it's like, yeah, we'll just make the next one for the next console, I guess. But they needed this thing to it's funny for people that weren't there or just don't know, like the N64 wasn't very big. Like it didn't do very well. It sold 30 million units or something. Every first party, not every, but many releases were like the seminal releases for the surrounding 4 months or whatever of the, and that's why it was so necessary to have a PS1. In my opinion, it's like, yeah, you're going to stop to play Ocarina of Time. You're going to stop to play Jet Force Gemini or I was going to say ukulele, Banjo-Kazooie or whatever, 007. There's a bunch of, but like they're really, I have to really go look. Like I almost don't remember any notable N64 games coming out on top of each other. They did a really nice job of separating them. Even the shit that I really wanted that ended up sucking, like Quest or I know a lot of people felt that way about Superman and all the rest. It's like these games still were far away from each other, where each of them had a feel to them, and the moment in this life cycle of the console had a feel for it because you feel to it. There was a darkness towards the end of the N64's era because of Majora's Mask. It felt weird. It felt ominous. The whole thing felt like it was collapsing, actually, at that time. I remember feeling that way. Like the PS2 was out, around the time that Majora's Mask came out. So I just remember that. So it's a very nostalgic, timely game for me too. I just remember it so well. And I also was very excited because I had the gray cart Ocarina of Time, but I got the gold cart of Majora's Mask.
N64 sales, these are from Nintendo themselves. 32.93 million units.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking awful. What do you really like? What do you think about that? Dude, Switch 2 has sold more than half that many already. Yeah.
Software, 224.97 million.
It's kind of nice. It's a nice attach rate, like 8, right? Something like that. So now my attach rate was more like 30 or 40, something like that.
Yeah.
But
my attach rate was high. Wii U, 13.56 million.
I really thought they were dead. I thought they were dead, dude. I really did.
Well, it's because, I
really did. I really was in my mind like this actually might be like they're not going to die, but like we might actually get Mario games on PlayStation, kind of situation.
Yeah.
How foolish
like
I was.
You said, if you had N64, dude, having a PS1 companion was so
totally
nice.
Necessary.
Yeah,
I couldn't have imagined owning only an N64 at that time. It would have been awful. And I love the N64. I just think like come on, man.
It's crazy.
You were missing so much. Even if you got shit, like you got Resident Evil or like you did, like you got Mega Man Legends and some shooters and all that, but it wasn't enough,
No. GameCube, 21.74 million. That's
precious GameCube.
The precious GameCube. Awful selling.
But it's crazy that the GameCube sold even worse than the N64. That exactly shows what I was saying, was like there was an ominous death feeling around the console space for the Nintendo at this time. Like definitely.
It was a weird time.
And I loved GameCube. I was so far up the GameCube's ass, you wouldn't even believe it. But no one cared.
Yeah. I was there. I remember the days. All right. Hold on a second.
21 million GameCubes?
Yeah. On, dude.
How did they even it's so crazy to think about it. It's like, what? I always thought it was like 24 or something like that, 25. That's so much worse.
Here. Check it out, dude.
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Yeah. I love that they do this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man.
They do it with like software too, which is really rad.
GameCube's attach rate was even higher than N64's. It's interesting and it's funny, like Game Boy's attach rate is so
cheaper on GameCube.
Yeah, that's true. They were.
That's like the $50 era.
There were also a lot of games on GameCube. Yeah, that's what's so interesting about GameCube. Had how many it has to be 1,000, right? Like, or something like that. How many GameCube games are there worldwide?
Oh, good question.
Oh, it's 651. So less than I thought, because I remember there being so much licensed shit.
Yeah, a
like
lot.
So much. Like everything would come to GameCube. So from my perspective, so it's surprising it's only 651. But God, I had a lot of GameCube games too.
Shout out GameCube. We loved you.
It was an awesome machine.
Yeah. Badass. All right. Dark. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I already read that. Okay. Anthony Arcure wrote and said, "Sup, Summoners? Last summer, I played Majora's Mask for the first time in nearly 10 years. It was also my first time getting all the masks in a single playthrough. It's truly amazing how great this game is. Nintendo managed to create one of the greatest video games of all time in just 1 year, hot off the heels of making the seminal Ocarina of Time. That being said, I was a child when it released. While I played it at release, I wasn't old enough to be part of the hype. What was it like leading up to its release? I could only imagine people were losing their minds in anticipation."
Not really.
No, yeah, not really. I remember being excited for it.
I was, yeah.
But I think I discovered it was coming out. I don't think I had Nintendo Power at that time, maybe, so I didn't. I remember seeing it in a game store like before it was out, being like, "Oh shit!" But maybe I did see it. I just can't remember. I was 13 when that game came out, so I can't remember probably as well as you, Colin.
Yeah, I had just turned 16 in October 2000, and what I remember. First of all, I remember the excitement about Ocarina of Time being way higher.
Yes, way higher. Yeah.
But you have to look at it through the lens of. It's actually kind of interesting, with the exception of Link's Awakening. Like Zelda was kind of deceased. I mean, like, or dormant. It wasn't dead, but like there really were no Zelda games. It was Link to the Past. But Ocarina of Time is the 5th Zelda game, if you don't count the CDI shit and stuff like that. So, and obviously Majora's Mask is the 6th. It's not like anything came. Oh, actually, Oracle of Ages and Seasons came out around this time too.
Yeah,
but,
I'll look at that date.
But it's like I said, I felt like what I remember about what was it? 2001. So the next fall, right?
Yeah.
What I remember about this era were a few things. Nintendo was becoming like an afterthought for a lot of people. I had a group of friends that were all gamers, and we all had an N64, but we played it less and less as time went on. I would say N64 is like heyday for my friends group was like 98. By 2000, it's
over.
It's over. I mean, that's when you're getting like the multicolored N64s, and like they're trying to like one last burst of getting these things out there. We're already hearing about the GameCube at this point, which is a year out. And I think there's two important things to keep in mind. Again, PS2 comes out around this time, and Dreamcast is already out. Now, Dreamcast is a few months away from dying at this point, but no one really know. Like they discontinued Dreamcast, I think, in April 01. So like it's still at this point okay. And I was playing a lot of Dreamcast at this point because I've said before, like I loved Dreamcast. Like it was a weird thing.
Me too.
I grew up hating Sega, and then as soon like I always say my brother's best friend PJ was a big Sega kid and would import stuff all the time. So he had an import Dreamcast, and I also had an opportunity to play the import PS2 at Icon, which is Long Island's comic convention. That summer I played like in a Street Fighter EX tournament or something, and so I got to fuck with it a little bit. And I had a job at this point, so I was like, oh, I can actually just buy a Dreamcast and I don't have to be like a hater anymore. I can actually just experience it for myself. And I actually ended up kind of falling in love with SegaNet and playing NBA 2K and some of these other games online. And I loved like Blue Stinger and some, Crazy Taxi and what's the 3D fighting game? I can't remember the
Soul Calibur.
No, well that, yeah, Soul Cal. But the other one, there was two of them.
Oh, Power Stone?
Power Stone.
Yeah.
Right. There was a lot to love, but it was very ephemeral. Like it kind of came and went. Dreamcast was really alive for about a year and a half in the West, but that was right in the mix of this too. So the N64 was kind of like and I was a Nintendo Power guy. Like I had Nintendo Power from like the late 80s all the way to like the mid 2000s. So it's like you had to be in it to know. It was very similar to what was going on with the Game Boy, actually. Although Pokemon revived the Game Boy. You and I have talked about that a million times, but shit was coming out the Game Boy. You just needed to be aware of it. It was kind of just limping along at some point, and then it became really powerful in the late 90s. So That's what I remember. So yeah, you might be surprised, Anthony. Like, I don't remember there being any, like, in my friends group or in my school, like I went to a pretty big school and everything. Like, I don't remember there being any hype. Like, when I pre-ordered Ocarina of Time in 9th grade, I got that t-shirt with the link on it that like people still sell and like whatever. And it was like a pre-order bonus. And I remember people even being like, oh, that's so cool. What is this or whatever? Like, it was kind of over by that point, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately that's true. Like, and then Wind Waker was even worse in a way where like everyone like hated Wind Waker. And it wasn't until Twilight Princess really that it started to roar back, because even then you had like the Link to the Past re-release and Four Swords and stuff. Like Zelda was kind of a little bit in the wilderness for a minute, which is so funny to think about now, because it's like,
yeah, dude, Zelda was like in a dire state with Skyward Sword. I remember,
right,
where it like sold not good or not as well as it should have.
We gave it a 10. I remember at IGN, and I remember because Greg gave Uncharted 3 a 10 that year too, which a lot of people were skeptical of too. But I remember being like looking at, I think it was Rich George, and I'd be like,
yeah,
like a 10. I don't know about that. And we knew everything was fucked up, because Uncharted 3 ended up outselling Skyward Sword, which was like, what? Like, it was weird. Yeah, it was weird. No one gave a shit about that game. Yeah, it was.
Then they made Breath of the Wild and everything changed.
Right, exactly.
Now it's like a juggernaut again.
I mean, it's a juggernaut in a way it never was.
Yeah,
you know?
it's more popular than it's ever been.
I would assume Breath of the Wild and what's the other one?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom combined have outsold every Zelda game combined. You would have to assume that's fairly easily.
Dude, we can look at numbers, because I'm pretty sure 100%.
I mean, each of those games individually are the two best-selling games in the Zelda franchise. It's a matter of whether they combined outsold every other Zelda game, which I think they would probably do fairly easily. Actually,
here, look, I can find Breath of the Wild sales alone. Breath of the Wild has sold 33 million.
Yeah, I mean that might alone be more than every Zelda game.
And Tears of the Kingdom is 22 million.
Yeah, I mean that's easy,
no
doubt,
easy, 100%. Jesus, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 70 million. Crazy.
It's a blessing and a curse, dude. You know, it's like they are mono-reliant on themselves. They're trying to fix that. They've been trying to fix that. It means that they make all of their own money, but they have to risk all of their own money. And they can only inherently make so many games. So it's like so they see first party sales that are unheard of. Although those sales aren't that unheard of. Like Horizon sold that many copies, you know? So it's like there are The Last of Us, stuff like that, but it's Zelda
on one platform though.
I'm talking about Zelda. I'm not talking about Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a totally different scene now. Dude, Animal Crossing, shit like that's like, what?
Yeah. Dude. Top seller on Wii U, Mario Kart 8. Yeah. 8.46 million.
I mean, that's
units.
incredible though when you consider that attach rate.
How many? Yeah, it's like more than half. That's insane. Crazy.
For a non-bundled game, you don't really see that very often. I mean, Mario Kart really is unique, and Smash Brothers would probably be the two unique games that might reach those numbers without being bundled. You know? Yeah,
maybe Animal Crossing now.
Yeah. That's so funny too, because I loved Animal Crossing on GameCube. I thought it was so...
Yeah, dude, on GameCube, holy shit.
It was so quaint. And I loved, like, I remember how alive GameFAQs was for Animal Crossing, because everyone would be exchanging their codes and trading shit and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I loved that game, and no one gave a... It's so funny how that, of all the games and all of the IP, like, that was the one that...
Yeah, that was it.
Hit for them. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Colin, let's see here. Last game we got is Astalon. Is that how you say it?
Astalon? Yeah, Astalon. So this is the previous game from the studio. You put in, by the way, you put this in the chat just in case you care.
Got it. There you go, Dustin.
Oh, Ninja Gaiden 2's trophies for PS4 were just published. Cool.
Yeah.
I was pulling up I want to make sure I got that subtitle here. Astalon Tears of the Earth. This game came out in 2021.
Tears of the Earth. Okay.
It's from Labs Works, which is the same studio that made Lovish, and this was their previous game. It's funny. So I was gushing about this game in the Lilymo chat, and one of the guys there was like, "Oh, you got to try their previous game, Astalon." And I'm like, "You know what? I've heard of that game. I should go try it out." So I went on PSN to find it, and I bought it. I mean, I already owned it. So like at some That's point, funny. I was like, "Oh yeah, this game looks great." And I over the last 5 years, and I bought it. So I already owned it. So that was kind of cool. So no additional investment necessary. Astalon is a very different kind of game than Lovish. which is
the
cool.
character kind of looks similar. The main
Yeah,
character.
it does. I don't know if it's the same. It might even be the same character, but I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It could be. Solomon was the character in Lovish, so this could be the same character. And I agree with you. It does look the same. This game is a Metroidvania, and it is every Metroidvania has a little bit of a quirk, and the quirk, as we were saying earlier, and the quirk of this Metroidvania is you have 3 characters and they all do different shit that allows you to progress. I mean, it's that simple in premise. So you have the knight character who's kind of like brute force, and he can use his sword to like cut down certain like barriers and shit like that. And you have a wizard, a mage. He can use his attacks to like light up these orbs and do these and light up torches and do all this stuff that unlocks doors and whatever. And then you have a rogue that can wall jump. So she can like get higher and get to places that you can't get. You go back then, and the save rooms in the game are like campfires, and the characters you're not using are just sitting at the campfire, and you go and you hit triangle, and then like you switch to another one, and you can leave and go about your business from there. It's a cool game. It is a roguelike in that it is much like Rogue Legacy. It's premised around death and making your character stronger when you're dead. Unlike Rogue Legacy, which was so clever and cute in that like you were like it was the progenitors, like it was like your descendants were like getting imbued with your stats and stuff, which was really neat. This is not like that. This is just like you go and upgrade, like you're dead. You have all these orbs that you collect, which is the currency in the game. You use them to upgrade your character's health, strength, unlock different equipment or whatever. And it's cool. I'm not crazy about it, to be honest. Like I'm not far enough into it to really. One of the things I was saying to the guys on Sacred that I pay a lot of attention to is that the trophy completion rating is very high on this game, which means that people who played it liked it. And so when I see stuff like that, like almost 10% of the people that play this game at the platinum, which it's not a trivial platinum to get, that to me says if you put time into a game, you're going to like it, or at least the people that this game is aimed at, if you just stick with it. And I don't abandon games early like that anyway. But I'm saying that because I feel like there's more to it than I'm missing. The thing that I'm really bummed about is actually very similar to what I'm bummed about with Turok, which is what I'm kind of lost. Because there's so many design quirks and intentionality. It's not like playing Symphony of the Night where it's like, oh, you're going to double jump at some point, or you're going to be in the inverted castle. Here, it's like you got to always be balancing. Like, am I not able to progress because I'm missing something with one of these characters, or am I going the wrong way? And so there's a lot of backtracking and a lot of just like confusion for me about like, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? So it's good. I haven't seen enough yet to say too much more about it. I mean, I have played it for like 5 hours. It's not like I've played it a trivial amount of time, but I just, for the kind of game it is and what it expects out of you, I think it's too early to really have a true bearing on where it's bringing me. But
gotcha.
But I do like the uniqueness of it. Metroidvanias, I think, are really hard to make, and the Metroidvanias that always stick out to me, some of them are the popular ones, some of them are the random ones. One of my favorites has always been Shadow Complex, for instance. And what was cool about Shadow Complex was like the foam gun and the modernity of it, and it was about an American Civil War and all the rest. Something needs to make it stick out. I understand what they're trying to do here. I don't know if it's enough to make it stick out, though.
The
for
3
me.
character thing, yeah.
We'll see what happens, but so far so good. I mean, it's not bad. I just hate getting lost in games. I hate not knowing. I hate not progressing. I hate not knowing where I'm going. It's not fun to me. I'm not playing an adventure game. I'm not playing fucking Police Quest. I'm not playing, Maniac Mansion. I want to like know like what I'm supposed to do next. That's fun for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
This game looks cool. I wish I had time to play it, but it looks neat. Shout out, dude.
I just love the idea of me like seeing a game, being like, yeah, this looks good, buying it, and then forgetting it exists, and then going in and discovering I already owned it. That was a nice little.
I've done that a lot with Steam, especially.
Yeah.
Alas. All right. Time for some. We're gonna end the show with some questions, I guess, right here, real quick. Aiden Gonzalez wrote and said, "What up, my summon ussies? Why is it wrong to root for a game to fail? For instance, I'm glad when live service games like Highguard or Concord fail, not because I'm happy that people lose their jobs, but because of the message it sends to the executives and developers. Hopefully it makes them think twice before trying to bring another live service game to fruition."
You guys just don't get it, man. God bless you, Aiden. They're not trying to materialize a market that doesn't exist. The market exists and it's vibrant. It's about penetrating it. And as we said earlier, Arc Raiders is the latest proof of many pieces of proof over the years that it's penetrable. You just have to hit it right and do it right. Marathon could very well be one of those games too. I don't know. Like, I think you're right in that, like, the outlook about Marathon has improved a lot. I think people still think it's like, oh, this is gonna be Concord 3. I'm like, I think you're gonna be surprised. I don't think Marathon's gonna be the biggest game in the world, but I think it's gonna be just fine for years. That's my feeling. We'll see what happens. Whether High Guard or Concord fails is not going to stop them from making another one somewhere. When half of your money, think about everything as a pie chart, and then just cut the chart in half. Like, all right, so think about like gross revenue on PlayStation. It's a pie. Cut it in half, remove half of it. That's 10 games as a service. Everything else gets its money from all of the rest of this pie. So don't tell me that, like, trying to penetrate that other pie, that other piece of the pie that's being gobbled up by big players isn't worth chasing.
Right.
For as big as Ghost of Yotei was, and it was big, and it seems like it's even selling better than Tsushima, which is not a huge surprise. It's going to make them in the low hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. It's nice. They even said in their financials, like, Ghost of Yotei actually boosted our financials. Like, it's one of the reasons we did so well. That's a 1 quarter thing.
Right.
For a 5-year investment. But Arc Raiders is a years long thing. That's going to keep making. Another great example of this is PUBG. PUBG is making more money right now than it ever has. That's
crazy. Yeah.
PUBG was kind of left for, it's a bad term because I was gonna say Left 4 Dead. That's another game, but it was kind of Left 4 Dead at the and meaning not the game, but meaning it was kind of like, it looked like it was over. And yet, they're making enormous amounts of money. I don't care if people root against, like, I guess I would love a reality where every game did well. It's not possible. Thus, we have to accept that games are going to fail. I don't even know that we have to root for them. They're just going to, it's just going to happen. And games as a service are mostly going to fail. But, and as I said earlier, I think you're going to see much less investment in the space. But I feel like it's missing the forest for the trees. Like, hopefully think twice before trying to bring another live service game to fruition. The money that they want is not in single player games. And by the way, when I would say much of the time that a great single player game is released, you guys don't care either. Look at Chronos. Chronos is exceptional. And it'll struggle to get to 1 million copies sold probably. So I'm not sure what anyone really wants. I saw someone complaining about, like, why didn't EA stick with Dead Space Remake? I'm like, because you assholes didn't buy it. Dead Space Remake was so good. But like, it's like people are complaining, but then not everyone says, I see this a lot where it's like the people that are defending High Guard could just go put their money where their mouth is. And I'm like, well, you could put your money where your mouth is and buy these games. Do you think that if High Guard, or do you think that if Chronos sold 10 million copies, that would be a little different than if sold 500,000? So I just think that, like, the reality is the reality. It is what it is. The money is where the money is. I wish it wasn't that way, by the way. I'm analyzing what is, not telling you what I hope it is or what I like, a perspective of it. It just is what it is. I'm a single player gamer. This shit doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah. I guess, like, the only silver lining I could see, or one of the silver linings, is like their approach to live service. Like, I don't have a problem with live service or how them existing, that they're going to exist forever now. That's just where we're at in the gaming industry. But it's just like how they approach it, how they present the game, I suppose. They may have learned a lot from failures. Like, certainly Fair Games learned a lot from Concord. 100% it did. That's probably why they're so cagey about showing it. And the playback, like, that has definitely changed their plans of the game and probably their future plans, how they're going to handle things. Maybe we'll start getting less of them just being like, okay, Blue Point, you're going to make a live service game now. Concord changed all of that, I think, Colin.
I think so too.
So I think there was some good that came from it, but just the fact about shitting on every live service game, just the fact that it's live service is weird to me. Especially when there's humongous live service games, like gacha games or fucking massive games. So I mean, like you, I don't blame them from chasing it, but it's just their approach, I think, needs to change of how they chase it.
Yeah, I just, again, it's about externalizing and, like, seeing things through someone else's lens. It's like, yeah, this shit's not for me, but it's for someone. Even High Guard and Concord were for someone, and there's people out there that liked those games. It's just not enough. And that's the way the market works.
Too small for how much they spend.
I don't expend very much energy on things I don't care about.
Sure.
Like, I didn't gain any pleasure out of Concord failing because I didn't care. I was confused by it. I was not that the game failed. I was confused that they like went so far with it and bought the team and did all that. Like, they have no idea what they're doing. That's the bigger mystery. I just think the data is clear. The majority of gamers want games as a service. The majority of gamers on console and PC are playing at any given time a game as a service.
Yeah.
They're not playing single player games in the plurality. It's never going to be that way again, ever. So, and no one knows that better than the stakeholders that get all of the data. It's not a mystery to them. They're the ones telling, Epic how much people are playing Fortnite. They know. It's not like they're a third party publisher and like wishing that they had this bespoke data. They know better than anyone, which is why I think they were so aggressive and obviously overly so.
Yeah. Sony just make an anime gacha game. There you go.
God, I mean, that's like the last thing they probably should do at this point, and yet they probably will do it because there's just so many of them,
Yeah. And people keep playing them.
Yeah, they do. They do.
For now, at least. Connor L. wrote and said, "Hey guys, hope you're doing great. Majora's Mask was such an amazing game for me, getting me super interested in the world of YouTube when I was younger. Watching creepypastas and trivia videos about it led me to finding many random gaming channels growing up. For both of you, what game do you think it was that turned you into the enthusiast you are today? Keep fucking that chicken." Wow, that's an old school sign off.
It is.
All right, Colin, what's the game that turned you into you?
I don't know, man. Like,
the enthusiast.
I don't know. Like, I loved games from a very early age and was obsessed with them from a very early age. And so it's hard to know like what it was.
I know.
Like,
I'm thinking, is it just Mario?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Brothers?
It's probably something on NES or just the NES experience generally, but there were levels to it. Like, I remember when I first played Final Fantasy 3, that felt like another level of fandom to me where I was like, oh yeah, like this is really something we're really cooking now. But it's probably something like Kid Icarus or something weird that I became, one of the first things that I really became obsessed with. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. What's funny, it's here in like, trivia videos and creepypasta, like none of this was even available when I was young, so it's funny. We had Nintendo Power and we just didn't know we were being propagandized, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I guess I was playing games at such a young age when I was like 2 or 3. You're 2 and 3. It's like, it's probably just Mario Brothers, dude. My dad told me, or my parents have told me, like, the first time I played a video game, it like clicked with me, or I was like enthralled by it, I guess. So I guess just Mario, like Zelda, even on NES, was like a huge impact on me. I remember that. Final Fantasy 7 was a big one for me too, where it like took it to a new level, like 6 was for you, that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's different levels.
Yeah, it's a ladder.
I think it just goes back to Mario.
Yeah, it's a ladder you climb.
For people our age. For sure. All right. Final writing here is from Nicholas Rennan. What up, slop tits? Wow.
It's really not necessary.
The new narrative, according to IGN, is to wish games with long development cycles like GTA 6 are better left unfinished or canceled when they overstay their timelines. I have to know from your opinions, why do people go to such great lengths to be different just for the sake of being contrarian? Are we not confident that Take-Two can write a game and stay relevant? What do people want? Take care.
I didn't see this. I don't know what you're talking about here, but I mean, GTA 6 being canceled. It's like, what are they going to write down? $2 billion?
Yeah.
Unfinished is on. Everyone's got to like get out of these various studios' asses, and like there should be an eye towards labor practice, but it's what I've said over and over again. It's like what I was saying recently about Naughty Dog when they were crunching to create a deliverable for Intergalactic. It was like people are like, oh, they're crunching for 60 or 70 hours, and I'm like, guys, they know what they're doing. Like it's if you don't want to work there, don't work there. Understand that the ship bonus itself on Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be extraordinary. Like, you're talking about people that are working on this game that are going to become rich. They know what they're doing. And you don't need to like worry about them. If they don't want to work there, ultimately, I'm not saying that there should be studios that are abusing their employees, that are like holding guns to their head or whatever, but like, it's a culture of work. It's art. And there's a lot of money on the line. In fact, the High Guard guys that we're talking about it, were just talking about that, about how they all had royalty contracts on the game. Mm-hmm. So they knew what they were doing and they knew what they were trying to push because they were going to make an enormous amount of money if it worked. That's the same thing here. You're talking like I'm not even being, it's like there are going to be people that are at Rockstar that are going to make so much fucking money on this thing that it's going to be unreal. So let them work on it until it's exactly right. Everyone knows what time it is. And everyone knows the game's going to fucking sell well. And by the way, Grand Theft Auto 6 is definitely coming out this fall. I mean, it sounds like they're completely committed to that. So, but based on the way Strauss Zelnick and other people are talking about it, but I just, the contrarian nature of everything is getting a little annoying. The bigger thing is like everyone like counting people's hours, counting people's time, how they spend their time, what they do. It's like, worry about yourself. At some point, it's like, Don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure everyone understands that if you work at Naughty Dog on Intergalactic, you're going to be pulling some hours. And by the way, enjoy your $150,000 ship bonus when the game comes out. I'm sure they're going to be really crying over it.
Yeah, I don't know the context of like this IGN thing. Maybe they wrote an article about like, this game's taking too long, so we shouldn't care, or should they just cancel it? I don't agree with that. That doesn't, just because the game's taking long doesn't mean it won't turn out very well. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake, development hell, had to be restarted completely. The game turned out awesome, man. Grand Theft Auto, dude, they're taking so long because they fucking can. They can take so much. They have so much cash.
Yeah.
And people are invested people are going to buy this game no matter what, dude. No matter what. You can play as Jeffrey Epstein in this game and it'd still sell millions and millions and millions and millions and millions.
Oh my God, it's going to do great. The burn rate is huge. And of course they want to get the game out as soon as they can. But they understand that it'll be the biggest media release of any kind ever. And they're going to be fine. And frankly, I mean, it sounds crazy, but like another couple $100 million spent in delays and all of that is like, it sucks, but
it'll be worth it for them.
We'll be fine. You know, that's their perspective. So it's the contrarianism is a lot, Nicholas, but I think it's more like everyone's just so into the weeds, thinking they understand things that they don't understand. And by the way, I don't understand a lot of it either. What I do understand, I make games, but also I've talked to a lot of people that make games and been to studios and been doing this for a long time. Is like, these guys know what they're doing. Like they know what it takes. They don't want to fail, especially now. It's like the fucking music's about to stop, dude. So you better work hard and keep that job. Yeah.
All right, Colin, that's it. We're done, man.
Cool. That was fun.
What an episode.
That was great.
That was fun.
It's good to see you.
That was good shit. What's going on for the rest of the day for you?
I got to work out and I'm just going to eat dinner and rest. I got to work on the game this weekend again and get more shit done because we're trying to, we're going to go gold soon and I have a lot to do. So, just a lot of like random writing, like the bestiary and like item descriptions and shit that just needs to be done. So I got to focus on that this weekend, but it's good. Football's over. So that's not a big deal. The NHL is shut down right now because of the Olympics. So that's good. So there's really nothing to distract me. I mean, I'm distracted by the Olympics in some way, but, so yeah, just going to be hanging out this weekend and I'll be trying to get through some of these games. I'm trying to figure out, like, should I just stick with God of War? I probably should just get through God of War. I want to play Rayman, but it's just another distraction and then get back to Astalon and get back to Turok too. Yeah. And there's a lot to do. So
a lot.
Yeah. But, and hopefully sleep a little bit, hang out with the dogs.
Get your napping.
Oh, I love my nighttime 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock nap.
That's so funny, dude. That's just called going to bed.
I know that's pre-sleep.
Yeah, pre-sleep, dude. Yeah, man, that's my little.
Well, it's just so funny because I'll sleep like 6 hours, and then I'll wake up and I'm tired during the day, and I get all my shit done, and then I'm like, I collapse on the couch, and it's that 2 hours, that hour and a half, and I feel great. Like I feel great.
That's good,
and I kind of hate it. That's why I love just waking up naturally. It's the only time I ever feel good. If I have to wake up to an alarm, no matter when I went to bed, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it can suck. That's for sure. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. We greatly appreciate it. See you next week. Take care and goodbye.
Bye.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.